morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chips. It's fishing time with Reina. Reina. Oh, I can do it. Reina.
What is she doing there? What is she doing?
No, I just wait.
Reina Ranranea.
Yes, Reina, please introduce yourself.
Hi, minasan. I'm Reina, actually, Ronronea. I'm Globe's first generation cat basker. I used to sing on the streets. I spend a lot of time on the streets. Now I sing on YouTube. And I am with Miss Fish.
So, hello. So Reina is here. Yes. Reina is tagged on my title, I believe. So please go and follow her. She is leaving Japan, sadly, very sadly.
I am leaving Japan. Yeah, I am leaving the weeb land. I am leaving the makeup for weebs.
Yes.
Different kind of makeup.
Makeup.
Yeah, the makeup for weebs.
Made cafe weebs.
No, makeup. You know Mecca like the Mecca?
Oh, Mecca.
Okay,
yes.
kind of like, yeah.
Well, well, I thought it would be quite interesting to hear about your experiences, like living in Japan, because obviously you came here as a student to study Japanese for 1 year. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I already know that's right. I just had to double check just in case, you know, the narrative changed. It wouldn't change, but anyway.
Let's keep it that way for immigration.
She came here, guys, to go to maid cafes. That was the real reason. Go to Con Cafe. That was the real reason, guys, all along. But yes, so I thought it'd be interesting to talk about your experiences moving to Japan, like even like how you found your language school, and like your experience of living in Japan and also studying here as a you know Japanese student.
Yeah, it's the first thing is like 1 year happens so fast, like it goes so quickly, and you don't realize. The second thing is like people underestimate what actually coming as a student is like. It's a lot of fun for real, but like if you have plenty of savings to not work, I'm quite lucky enough that obviously I'm doing, you know, I'm doing my job with Glovey, you know, so I'm lucky. But there's a lot of people who come as a student and they don't have a job, and the school tells you, the first thing they tell you when you're coming to study is, we prefer if you don't have a job. Yes, yeah, they tell you it's better if you don't have a job, at least for the first 3 to 6 months. Because for them, like, I think people underestimate the intensity of the school, I think.
Yeah.
For me, it really was, at the beginning, I was doing an intense class, right? I was like, tokushin, which means like intensive. And after 3 months, I had to actually step down to the regular classes because it was really intense. We're talking about Monday to Friday having to go to school for 4 to 5 hours at a very, very fast pace. And then obviously because it's so fast, you have to review so much at home that I didn't have time to do anything between my streaming activities, and all my, you know, what's related, creating covers, doing content and all that. And then having to study for an exam every day. So every day we will have exams. Every day. Yeah, it was kind of like very, like, people underestimate what it is to come to study, but it is actually very intense.
So I guess what you're saying is pick a course that you would be happy with in terms of like your lifestyle, because the intense one, I remember, because the intense one, you were like so stressed every day. You had like tests every single day. You're studying every single day. I remember that era.
I mean, I think it's a person to person, you know, like for me, I'm very, very kibishi, very strict with myself. And like, I do not like losing. So I don't like getting bad marks on my exams. That's why I got so stressed because I had to do good, you know. I I put so much pressure on myself. So maybe if you're a chill person, you know, you'll have a better time. Because there were so many chill classmates that they wouldn't even come to class, and I was like, bro, you know that the attendance is so much more important than the grades.
Yeah.
Attendance in Japan is crazy important.
Well, actually, I think that's mainly for language schools because of your visa requirement. So, for anyone who doesn't know, obviously, if you come to Japan, if you move to Japan, you need a visa to live here, and there's like many types of visas. There's like a whole array of work visas, but there's also student visas, and in order to keep your student visa, you have to attend, what is it? What's the percentage?
80% minimum.
Yeah, at minimum 80% of your classes, so you don't get kicked out. So you don't get deported for, like, staying in Japan illegally as a student.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it doesn't matter if you do well or not in your classes, you know, like, you have to be there. They don't care if you're amazing and you already know Japanese. No, you have to be in class.
Because also the what was I gonna say? A lot of people who have money would, like, for example, apply to a language school just for the visa, and they would just basically want to live in Japan freely, and that's why. And the easiest way to get in was just to be a student, because all you have to do is pay money, right, to a language school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of students like that. There's loads of them, actually. They don't really care. I don't know how they do it, but they don't care at all.
Yeah, so when that happens, right, to avoid that, they've made sure that you have to attend your classes, so they know you're actually a student.
So they're asking on the chat, only 80%. I thought it'd be something else, like 95. There is actually, you're right. There's actually, if you want to go to a senmongako, or if you want to attend university after your Japanese studies, they do, especially for university, you have to be there at over 95% of attendance in school. You have to. Yeah, if you want to take the exam, because you obviously have to take the exam for university. Again, they expect you to have an attendance of 95% in school. Yeah,
the 80% is just to maintain your visa, just to make sure you don't get kicked out.
Yeah.
That's not what you should be doing. Of course, if you miss, because Rayleigh, you have experience, right? missing school because you're sick, and what happened?
Yeah, so basically, like, I do get not seasonal, barometric pressure, migraines. So there are migraines that trigger because of the pressure in the air just drops suddenly, or like the big changes in the pressure, and I get really big migraines that sometimes I can't even stand up because it affects my vertigo and my ear as well. So I can't even stand up. It's really bad. And one of the times a couple of times I have to miss because of that, because of the change in weather, because it's really dramatic sometimes in Japan. And usually when you miss class in Japan, in the class you have to fill up a form and say, well, I'm missing class because I'm sick, that's normal. My point here is, like, it doesn't matter if you fill up the form saying I'm sick, they still will check you as you're missing class, like seiseki. You're like out, you're not coming to class, so you're missing out. So they take out points. Even though you're sick, it doesn't matter. You're out. They don't really care. There's only, in my school, they only allow you to miss class if, and this happened to me once, if you have or you're suspected to have COVID, they allow you. But you have to go to the clinic to take a COVID test, which obviously costs money. And it's horrible experience, especially in Japan. I don't know because I've taken COVID tests obviously in the UK, But then when I took it in Japan, it was the most horrible experience in my life. I think it's because of the clinic, but it almost touched my brain. I think it was really, really painful. It was really painful. She did not care.
Wait, you mean they stuck this stick in your nose?
My nose, and obviously, yeah. Usually in the UK they're really gentle, but here they don't. They just go. And that's another thing about Japan that we can talk after, which is like the lack of pain, like the big pain tolerance that people go through.
You talk about that right now. You talk about that right now.
So like in like beauticians and places like that, especially for women in this country endure, bro.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
So the majority of places like beauticians and stuff, they don't give you anesthetics at all. You just have to go through the injections and everything, like with pain, or even if you ask, they don't. They just like, nah. Suffer. The majority there. Yeah.
Okay, Maho's like Japanese like pain. Maho, that's not true. Okay, hold on. In order to not spread any false rumors, that's because
the majority.
I don't think it's because they like pain. It's because Japan has very strict laws and regulation when it comes to substances, control substances like even anesthetic and stuff like that. You need like an actual anesthesian, I think they're called, the people who specialize in administering anesthetics, and they don't really have many of those here. So
yeah, if you pay more, then you get it. Like that's the thing. Like you have to pay. Like there are places that I've been that they literally just told me no, and there are other places that they were like more expensive. They were more like bougie, and those places, yeah. You get it, but you have to go to bougie places.
Yeah, because obviously it costs a lot of money to have those people. So and they, of course, they have it for like huge major surgeries. They do, but honestly, they really don't like giving anesthetic here. Even like I have a friend, right? So we're kind of going off topic from the school story here, but it relates to this story. So one of my friends had a baby, and I remember she paid for, like, she was like begging for epidural, which is like to help her give birth to the baby, right? And they were like, you shouldn't have epidural, you shouldn't need epidural, you need to give birth naturally. That's your role as a mother and a woman. You need to experience giving birth like raw without a male doctor. This was a male doctor. So an epidural, by the way, it's a type of anesthesia. So it's like an injection they put you in the back and in your spine, I think, to stop you like feeling pain in like the lower half of your body. And yeah, they were like, yeah, you shouldn't have it, because this was like an old man doctor in like, I don't know, somewhere in the Inaka. So like he was like, yeah, you shouldn't have it. You're a woman and this is your job to like give birth, so like you shouldn't need stuff like anesthesia. But she was in so much pain, right? And she was like, I really need it, and she couldn't give birth because like I think she had difficulty like giving birth, and she was in so much pain. And she ended like passing out, and then they gave her the epidural way too late. Like she had already like passed out at that point. So they ended up having to do like a C-section on her. So she had a cesarean, which she didn't want. Because the thing is with cesareans, right? Cesareans is like when they cut your stomach open to get the baby out. Once you have one, so once you have one, you can't ever give birth naturally ever again. Every single pregnancy you have has to be a cesarean. So obviously women, so obviously women would like to avoid that, right? So obviously that couldn't be avoided. So they gave her the epidural way too late. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you something. Giving birth in Japan costs about 600,000 yen. The epidural costs another 200,000 yen. That's like $2,000 or something, by the way. So
I'm telling you, Japanese women endure. They endure.
Yeah.
Like when you go and get your what's it, hair removal, like laser stuff like that. A lot of people don't need really like any kind of like numbing cream. But in the UK, if you go, you can't ask for numbing cream. When I asked for numbing cream here, they were like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I remember because when okay, I'm gonna sound like a big baby here, but I'm really, really scared of getting blood tests, like getting my blood drawn. And I needed to have a blood test last year to check some, like in case I had any health issues and stuff. And I was like crying, like tears dribbling down my face. I was like, please, no, please. And I was like, do you even have any numbing cream? And they're like, huh? Why would you need numbing cream? Because I remember in the UK when I got blood tests, I also had the same issue. I had like, I was crying and making an entire like, spectacle. And they're like, they put like an ice pack. They gave me the numbing cream, and they're like, they're like being really gentle and kind with me. But here they're like, huh? Just get it over with. Well, what's wrong? Yeah, they're really like hardcore brutal.
They endure it. They're hardcore. Yeah, they love pain or something. I don't know. It's obviously this is a generalization, but this is just an experience.
Gordon Ramsay would not like that hospital.
But it's the same. It relates. It actually relates to school, because basically they tell you that unless you're actually dying, you're not allowed to like skip school.
Mm.
And if you skip school, then well, you have consequences, which is your attendance percentage goes down. And I asked what was the only reasons, and they told me that they said unless you are taking a COVID test, or in case of if someone, for example, from like you have to leave the country for an emergency, then you're allowed to skip, but it's like a minimum amount of certain days, like 4 days or something like that, at least for my school. And then the other reason is if you have any other kind of contagious diseases.
Oh,
contagious. Contagious diseases.
Yeah. Like what kind of contagious diseases?
It doesn't say. Just I guess it's like COVID, like contagious disease. But obviously you have to prove it, and to prove it, you have to go to the doctor. So the problem that I had with my migraines is like, first, it's a chronic thing, right? Second, I said to the lady, I can't, like, the best I can do is put the form down. And the lady that from my school, because obviously you get in trouble, okay? They come in, they collect you from your class, and they're like, can we talk for a second? And you're like, okay. And they just talk to you, and they're like, look, your percentage is going down. Why did you miss these days? And they ask you, because you have to send the form, otherwise they call your house, okay? They called you.
Oh my God.
Like, are you okay? Yeah, they call you. They said that they're really worried. In reality, they want to make sure that you're not like escaping, I guess. But no, they are really worried. They worry about you, and they kind of like call you if you don't put the form down and you miss more than 2 days, for example, in a row.
Oh.
But if you miss several 1 days, individual days, and then they ask you, they're like, are you okay? And I explain, I said, well, sometimes I get these migraines that are really strong and I can't really stand up. So I can't go. And she was like, why don't you go to the doctors? And I was like, no, I'm telling you, this is a chronic thing that happens. It's like a strong migraine. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't take any kind of medicine. I take paracetamol, ibuprofen. It doesn't go away. My brain, basically, my head just needs to get used to the new weather condition, the new pressure. And then I feel better. It's something I have to endure, and I have to go through it. And there's nothing I can do about it. And she was like, but why don't you go to the hospital? And I'm like, listen, girl, not everything. Not everything can be solved by going to the hospital. And I was just trying to explain to her, when I go to the hospital, I mean, if I wanted to go to the hospital, obviously by the time I go, I already feel better. So I don't have any symptoms anymore because it's already gone. And she was not getting it. She just don't understand why I can't go to class with a heavy migraine.
Yeah. Okay, this is not just a language school thing. It is, and it's not just a Japan thing. I'm gonna be honest. I think this is just a regular Asia thing. Like, they don't really treat sickness as an excuse to not go to work or go to school or something. Like, you kind of just have to, like, gaman. You gotta just endure. And just, and not mention it. For example, I remember, like, I used to do lots of random, like, odd jobs here in Japan. As a hacker, I've got to stay, on the down low anyway. So I remember one of the people I worked with once, they were literally, they had no voice. That's how bad like their cold was. They were coughing and wheezing, and they literally had no voice. They couldn't speak. And I think part of their job was to speak. So, but they still had to go to work, even though they were quite literally dying. So they would, you just have to endure and just turn up at work anyway. And I think Aaron said that you have to take a blood test every single year. Yes. Hold on, I don't think that's exactly what they said. You said, oh, you take a blood test every year in Japan. Yes. So basically, another thing in Japan is if you're a student or if you're working, you have to take a mandatory health check every single year. I think, Reina, you also got one, right?
Yeah, I took my one. Yeah, but my one didn't have a blood test. It was just like a X-ray and blood pressure, stuff like that.
The ones in like workplaces, I believe you have to get a blood test, but it's like optional. Like if you cry about it and whinge about it, they'll let you off. But the thing is, they grade you on this health check, right? They give you A, B, C, D, like, you know, A being the best, and I always get a B because I always refuse the blood test. But Reina, listen, I did the blood test last year, and then they gave me an A.
She was. I think you messaged me once, and you were like, "I am going to get blood test."
Yeah, remember? Like, oh my God.
You can do this. You can do this.
Yeah, because basically I was, okay, so Reina knows I was really like putting this blood test off. I was crying about it. I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. And like, she was like convincing me, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. Fish is for your own good. It's for your own health. I was like, and I finally did it. And yeah, it was scary, but I got an A. So...
Yeah, but it's so true, the whole sickness. You know that the like when I moved to my apartment, that I got a massive cold and I lost my voice as well and everything for like at least it was like a month or something. I couldn't even speak right after I moved to my apartment. And when I was going to class, my sensei knew that I couldn't speak. My voice was gone. My chat knows as well. Like I was crying every day because I couldn't sing. I couldn't speak, I couldn't do anything, and it was really harmful for me because, well, I love singing and I love speaking, and I couldn't. And I go to class, and my sensei kept asking me because during the class you have to obviously speak, right? You have to say repeat things, and I could not. I couldn't. I was just like, and my sensei was like, "Reina-san," and I'm like, oh. I don't know how many times I told her I can't speak.
Yeah. School is hardcore here, guys. So the story here is, if you want to come and study here, it's not going to be like, you know, walk in the park, okay? You got to research, especially research which school you want to go to. That's always a really big one as well. So Reina, how did you find which school you wanted to go to?
So I actually use like an agency that helps you put in contact with other schools. And what I did was like I took me a long time. It took me like a month or two to actually decide which one, because I was like every day looking at them. So I narrowed them down. I looked at all of the options and all of the areas I wanted to study. Because some of the schools are further away from city center, some of them are farther away. So I was just like reviewing the pros and cons of all of them, and which programs were better, which ones had the better reviews. And then I asked basically my friends in Japan who actually studied as well in schools, and I was just like, do you have any friends or anyone that studied around, and what did they say about this one? What's you know, you have to ask around or look online for real people reviews rather than the reviews from the school, because those are not good. They're obviously gonna pop themselves. I have to say my school is really good. Like, I'm really happy despite being so strict. I think they have lots of activities. Like, that's really good about studying Japanese in a Japanese school. They usually offer so many activities for students. They also promote, after a while, you know, they actually help you find arubaito if you want to. They have opportunities for that, and you actually make friends with people who are even not from your class because of those activities that they do. Like, for example, we went to Mount Fuji like with the whole school. Yeah, and it was all paid. Like when you pay your fees, you pay for all of those tuition fees and like trips and books. And we went as well to where did we go? The Fuji one was the best one, I think, because it was really nice. It was a full day out and it was beautiful and it was so nice. But we did so many things as well. Like one of the day we also did like rubbish collection around the neighborhood. It was fun. It was okay. At the end of the day, it was a bit I'm shy, okay? So it was kind of like everyone is looking at you because imagine if all of a sudden you get like a million guys around the neighborhood just picking up trash. But all of the neighbors were just like, erai.
Oh, yeah, that would be kind of, it would be quite novel to see that.
Yeah, it was embarrassing because everyone is looking at you.
Well, I guess it's also embarrassing, like, because I heard, like, in some of the schools, they make you go out and interview people on the street in Japanese as well.
Yeah. So it depends. I think it depends on the classes that you are, because some schools they had business Japanese, and the business Japanese, like the course itself is more on hands in terms of like they want you to talk more to people, so they actually have activities like interviewing and things like that.
Like, haven't you guys ever done that in school? Like, at least in the UK, right? We used to have school trips to go to like France or Spain or whatever, to whichever language that we were studying in school. And I remember they would make us like just talk to random people in the street in that language. Like in France, they'd make us just like go up to strangers and interview them in French, like greet them and stuff like that. It was scary and it's really embarrassing because obviously you're just like this foreigner and just like talking to strangers. I hated that so much. And they do that, I think, in some Japanese schools as well, like in Japan.
They do. Have you never had one? Like, have you never had a Japanese child just approach to you and speak to you in English and be like, "Excuse me," with a paper?
No, I've actually never experienced that. Have you experienced it?
Yeah, like 3 times.
No way! Wait, you've actually experienced that?
Yeah, one of the times I was, because I like to like solo travel a lot. And one of the days I went to, I think you remember when I took one weekend off and I went to Kamakura for myself. And I was just like, when I was in Kamakura at the station, I got this like, I don't know, he was like 6 years old, 5, I don't know. And he just approached to me with a piece of paper and he was like, "Excuse me, miss."
Oh my gosh.
Can I ask you some questions? And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I've seen videos of that, like the elementary school kids in Japan going around, kind of finding foreigners in Japan to talk to in English. I thought it was quite cute though.
It's really dangerous because they are alone. I didn't see the teacher anywhere. Oh. And I was like, "Are you alone, child?" I mean, I'm a good person. Imagine if you find a bad person though.
Yeah.
It's so dangerous.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of like just like say American tourists or whatever, they're probably fine with talking to kids. Right? I mean, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but it's like they do, like, kids are very reliable in Japan as well. Like, I was so surprised. That's one of the culture shocks that people told me, because I have friends here as well who have children, but like it really surprises me because my friends, they're like, "No, I am not leaving my child alone to go to school." But here they do that. And then you see lots of parents just like hiding behind walls, following their children when they go alone to school just to make sure that they get It's kind of like like just throw the bird off the nest and see if it flies,
Yeah, I mean, I think teaching kids in defense, at least in Japanese society, it's safe enough to do that. I think, but probably wouldn't fly in the UK or America.
Yeah, but my friends are not allowing their children to do that, and I'm like, just let them go. What's the worst that can happen?
多言語だと、おはようさ、私はね、私は英語とネットスラングぐらいしかわからんぞ。Reina, how many languages do you know then?
Like knowing properly.
Well, I think Japanese counts now.
Oh, hey, I'm Jozu. Yippee. I'm
So-
just very shy. I don't speak it much, but when I need to, I do it.
So guys, Reina is a multilingual, 3 languages by the way, English, Spanish, and Japanese.
I can understand Italian as well because
Ooh.
obviously Portuguese, easy.
Wow, see the superpower of knowing Spanish, guys. But, yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think when it comes to like independence and kids here, they are taught to be quite independent from a young age, and obviously it's possible because they do have a tight rein on society here, like Japan. So it's not really too unsafe for kids to walk to school by themselves, and they do have things like, you know, those. I'm sure you guys know about the alarm because of a certain song that popped off. They have an alarm, little alarm.
Wait, was the chat listen to the kids' alarm?
Huh? You know that song that?
Yeah.
So now everyone knows about the alarm, don't they? Because of that.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah. So they do have like alarms. They also have like these little phones as well, so they can like that directly like connects to their parents. So they, even though they are out there on their own from like the age of 5 walking to school, they still are kind of safe. So
Yeah. The first time I heard that, I was just like, oh no, it must be something dangerous. Oh no. And then I heard what it was saying on the alarm and I was just like, what?
yeah.
What is this? I thought that there was a school nearby, but no, it is everywhere. Every single ward has their own alarm. And I don't think they all play at the same time, right? Like it depends of the ward and it depends of the season as well. They change it according to season because
Are you talking about the bell? You're
No,
talking
I'm
about
talking about the alarm for the kids to go back home.
Oh, that's I meant by alarm.
Okay.
I meant the safety alarm that they have, like, you know, hooked onto their bag. But the bell, the home time bell, the safety bell, that's a different thing. Oh yeah, we should probably talk about that. Do you want to explain it? Do you want to explain that?
Oh yeah, I thought you meant that one. Yeah, no. So basically, in different words and different cities and like different everywhere, I've heard this everywhere. I was in Nagasaki, and Nagasaki as well had it. Basically around, it depends of the time. If it's in winter, it's at like 4:30, 5:30 during summer, or 6. Basically you will hear an announcement everywhere. It's like ding dong ding, and then someone starts speaking and it's like, all of the kids, if you're a child and you're on the streets, it's time to go home. And they just they just put an announcement being basically just calling all the kids on the streets saying, get out of the streets, go back home.
That?
Yeah, but the first time I heard that, I thought it was something like dangerous. And once you actually listen to the words, you realize it's just for the kids. And then I thought, well, maybe it's because there's a school nearby or something. No, they just, it's a neighborhood thing.
No, but I've lived in 3 different wards here, and I've never heard like an announcement every day telling the kids to go home. It's always the 5 o'clock alarm, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the summer. The 5 o'clock alarm saying, you know, so basically what happens is at 5 o'clock or 12 o'clock every day, and this is, I think, I believe in every like area in Japan. At noon every day, there's an alarm. Like it's like a little ringtone that plays across the entire like city to tell you it is noon. And I believe the reason why they do this is also to keep testing the intercom system in the city, because when there's a actual a natural disaster like an earthquake, PA system, sorry, yeah, that's it. When there's an actual like earthquake, they need to use these PA systems to, you know, say their messages. So at 12 o'clock at noon every single day, they play the kind of like alarm, and then at 5 o'clock there's another alarm, and that alarm means the kids need to go home. The alarm does play at 5 and 6 in the summer. Like actually it started the 6 o'clock one.
My one is early.
Really?
Mine was earlier. Yeah,
Really?
mine was at 4:30 in the winter and like 5:30 in summer. But yeah, my one actually speaks. Yours one doesn't. My one, it says something. It says like
every day.
Yeah, every day. Every day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every day. My one speaks. My one says like "Kotomotachi, uchi ekaite."
Wow. Okay. Yeah, mine doesn't. I've because even all 3 places I've lived at, I haven't heard
Yeah, it's different. It depends on the neighborhood, but
Yeah.
they all agree that there needs to be like a children alarm as well for them to go back home, which is very nice because obviously, like if you're a child and you don't have a phone, which is nowadays is weird, but if you're a child without a phone, you need to know when to go back home when it's too late. You know. Also because like, isn't it like, the arcades, the UFO places and all that? If you're a child under 16, you can't be there after, what's it, 8 p.m., 6 p.m.?
Oh yeah, yeah, they kick you out.
Yeah, they kick you out. Yeah. So well, oh my god, any child that is like under 16, they're not allowed to be at the arcades after a certain time, like 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. It depends on the season as well. I think they change it according to the season because it gets obviously more like there's more daylight in summer.
Yeah, I think that's already started now, hasn't it? The longer days. I forgot to. I was going to ask you something else. Yeah. So to wrap up the talk about choosing your school, going back to the school topic.
Yeah.
Do a lot of research on the internet, and yeah, there are some services like Raina mentioned where they'll help you find a school. Did those? Oh guys, you heard the crows.
No, it's not me.
Did you have to pay for that service?
No, it's free. Yeah.
So those services
Like,
are actually supplemented by the government here, I think.
Are they? I don't know.
Subsidized.
All I know
Sorry.
is like, you just join, you talk to them, and then they just put you in contact. And then instead of sending all of the documentation to the school directly, you send it to the agency, and the agency send it to the school, and they help you as well to fill it up. Because there's so much documentation, you're not prepared for this. There's so much documentation. Okay.
Oh, this is so
Like,
famous. Yes.
so much, and they ask you every single school that you have been since you were like 5 years old. Okay, so you have to get all of those papers, and you have to have proof that you've been. Okay, so sometimes you have to show them proof that you've been in that school. In my case, because I'm Spanish as well, kind of like we have a different culture, you know, like obviously you guys don't know, but I'm not only Reina Ronronea, okay? I have a second surname because I'm Spanish, but it's I don't use it. But I'm Reina Ronronea, something else, you know? Because I have two surnames, filling up the forms in the Japanese forms, which are very like English based, Anglo speaker based. They only ask you for one surname, so sometimes my full name doesn't fit on.
Wait, but then I've seen them write middle and last name, so doesn't it count as middle name?
No. I had the same issue in the UK where my first, like Ronronea, my first surname was placed as my middle name on my bank account, and when I saw it, it was too late to fix it, and I was like, bro, Ronronea is my first surname.
I don't think it's like an Anglo thing though. I think it's because in Japan there's like usually two names. That's why it goes by the Japanese like naming system.
You think?
Yeah,
no, but the form is in English though. The form is in English.
Yeah, but they just make an English version of a Japanese one, right? But as in the Japanese format, because a lot of English people only have two names as well.
Yeah, so sometimes my full name doesn't fit on the forms, and because you have to put it in the same way that shows in your passport.
Yeah,
right?
so this is a huge issue I heard, because there are some like, I think Latin American people who have like 5 names. Or like
that's it.
Some other people who have like a billion surnames and like double-barreled and things like that. Apparently those cause tons of issues in Japan because you can't just simply shorten your name, because if it doesn't match your passport, they kick up a huge stink about it. Like paperwork, bureaucracy here is crazy. Like I can't even begin to describe it. Like the amount of like you've had so much experience and troubles with paperwork, right?
Yeah, so let's move into city hall, the city ward, the Kyakusho.
The worst place.
So once you do all these and you put all the documentation, which is basically telling the Japanese government everything that you've done since you were like 5 years old, including your work experience, everything. Yeah, everything. They want to know everything, and you have to prove it. Once you do all of that and you get to Japan, you have 14 days to go into the city word of the place where you're staying, to tell them that you live there, basically. And let me tell you, at the beginning, my chat knows.
Oh yeah, Raina, maybe you should
I
tell
was,
them.
yeah, maybe I should. This is gonna be unveiled. This is unveiled. So, at the beginning, I was a sufferer. Like, I suffered the whole you can't have an apartment because you're a foreigner kind of thing. It was really difficult. I didn't believe people when they said that it was that difficult. It is very difficult to find, unless you have the money, you know? Unless you have the money, to find an apartment as a foreigner. And especially the one that I needed, which was like soundproofed, blah, 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 because I do a lot of singing, recordings and stuff like that. But it was very difficult to find an apartment. It took me about 4 months to actually get an apartment. One of those months was when I was already in Japan. And I didn't have a place to stay. So obviously I stayed first on the streets with a box. Then a kind lady of a laptop managed to find me, and she put me in her house and gave me a laptop. So I was able to like at least do some like PNG streams. And that lady of the laptop.
Who was that lady? Who was it?
That lady of the laptop was no other person than dun dun dun.
It was
Mrs.
me, TRiGGERPHiSH. That's right. I had so many spare PCs lying around. I was like, yeah, you can have one. You can have one to stream.
Of course, a hacker. Of course, a hacker. Yeah. So, Mrs. Fish allowed me to stay at her place for the first month that I wasn't able to get like an apartment when I was apartment hunting. She knows how stressed I was. Like, I was literally going for like miles of like walking. I would do miles just to like get the stress out of my body. And then she would be like, where are you being? And I'd be like, I don't know, I just walked to the nearest river. And she was like, the nearest river is like miles away right now. And I'm like, I don't know.
It was so funny though, because like it was really fun when she was staying with me. It was like maybe the most fun I've had, because you know, I think I already told my chat, right? I need a task, otherwise I won't leave my house. And that's how Raina discovered, oh, I need to give her task, otherwise she's not gonna leave. So she'd be like, oh, Fish, it's such a nice day outside. Let's go outside. Let's do this and that. And I was like, oh, but why should we go outside? There's nothing to do outside. She's like, okay, how about we go to this park? That's our objective for today. We're gonna go to this park, and then we're gonna go to this coffee shop. And I was like, oh, okay, now that makes sense. Okay, I'll get up. So that's how she used to drag me out the house. Yeah.
Yeah. It was quite fun. It was quite fun. But yeah, like basically on the first 14 days, because I was staying at Fish's place, I had to go to the nearest city ward and actually go and tell them that I was living there, because you have to. If you have to, okay, you have to do it in the first 14 days, even if it's not your own place. You have to tell them that you are in the country and you're living in a certain address. What they don't tell you is how freaking difficult it is, because first of all, dedicate your time to go early to the city ward, because you can't spend there easily an hour. Easily, you're gonna be there for an hour at least, maybe more the first time you go. Second, they don't really understand that you are just living there, you know, like you temporarily. There's not a thing, there's not a form to say you're living there temporarily. Also, like they were like, so you are on the billing and everything. And I was like, no, I'm just staying there. I'm just a cat. I'm just a cat. I'm the house cat. And they would not understand that kind of thing. So you kind of have to tell them, yes, I'm Mrs. Fish's partner in crime now. Kind of thing. It was really, really, really difficult. And then nobody, and obviously I'm not expecting anyone to speak English, but nobody speaks English. So whatever, it depends on the city word. Some have more English accessibility than others. Some actually do have now people that speak English, but most of them, nobody speaks English. All of the forms are in English and Japanese, but again, like you are expected to do everything in Japanese. You need to make sure that you know more or less what you're doing. So before you go, I highly recommend you to do some research online on how to do. That's what I did basically. I just was like, how are the forms? How do they look? There's people out there who actually take pictures of these things, so make sure to look for them because it's very difficult. Every word is different, and yeah, you want to make sure that you do this within the first 14 days so the government knows where you are.
So Inev asked, would something happen if you didn't say? So the thing is, so it's a legal requirement for you to register at your local like city hall. Yeah, within 2 weeks of moving in Japan, whether you're staying somewhere temporarily or not, you still have to register to that city hall. And the problem here is with Reina's situation, they didn't understand that she was temporarily staying in this place and it wasn't her permanent address. And the reason why this is an issue is because the fact that she was like on my address, right? Then they think, oh, does that mean there's 2 people registered to this household? Now, household, so Japan has like this family tree system, which is like their household tree, and that affects like tax payments and stuff like that. And because she was registered to my address, like let's say even just for example, you know Gumi, right? So Gumi's my mod. So she sends parcels to my house often, and the post office noticed, oh, there's a different name. You know, there's a name called Gumi being sent to this address where only Fish lives. Does this person live at her address? So I had the post people sending me a letter saying you need to come to the local post office ASAP to talk about a very serious issue. And I was like, what the heck? And then when I went there, they're like, okay, is there another person living at your address? I was like, what do you mean? I'm the only. This is before Reina stayed with me, and I was like, no, I'm the only one. And they're like, well, there's been parcels addressed to someone else at your address. Is there someone like secretly living there? Because, you know, this like tax avoidment, yeah, you're avoiding taxes. And I was like, what the heck, no! So I had to fill out this whole form saying, yeah, I am the only one living in this address. I am the only one in my family tree in this household. And that's it. So what Reina had to do is she had to also go to the post office. We had to go there together, I think, actually. So to kind of register that she was living there, but not part of my family tree.
They did not get it. It was so difficult. I remember being so freaking
it was so stressful. Even I was like losing it over. I was like, do you not understand what I'm saying? Like I'm saying it in Japanese, and like it makes sense.
The lady was so mean because like the lady at the beginning, she was like okyakusama, and then all of a sudden she changed the tone and she started saying one-chan or something.
Oh yeah, she started calling us one-chan. Oh yeah, she was really condescending, and
oh my god,
I think she was the issue though, because when we went back another day, it was fine with another person. So it's like, that is another thing. So if something's not working out at either the city hall or any other kind of government place like a post office, just go back a different day. Okay, I want to say. You might think, oh, it's because you guys are foreign, that's why this happened. No. Let me talk about Gumi. So as you know, my mom Gumi, she's Japanese, okay? She's born and raised in Japan. And she has her family, so the family tree, like your family register, is registered to your local like city hall. So she went back to her city hall once in Japan, because she lives in the UK now. So she went back to Japan to get her like her papers, her family tree papers. And I believe it was in Osaka when she went. And when she asked for them, they're like, oh, you don't exist in the system. And she's, by the way, native Japanese, so she's got no issue speaking Japanese. And she's like, huh? Like, yeah, you don't, we're searching your name. You don't exist in our system. And she was freaking out because obviously if you don't have a family tree, like registration in Japan, you basically don't exist. So she was freaking out. She was like, you know, panicking and everything. And then she just went back the next day to a different person. They found it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think some days, yeah, you're right. Like sometimes you have to go back, but like, I've never had an issue with my current city ward. My current Kyokusho is pretty good, I would say. That everything is very well organized. It just takes time because there's a lot of people. But I've never had issues. I would say if you're coming to study as well, especially if you're a student. So as a student, you have certain, let's say, rights, okay, that a lot of people are not aware. So when you join in, you have to pay your national insurance number, right? And your national insurance payment basically it's based on the year before. The payment is based on how much tax you paid the year before, right? But they were charging me, for example, a crazy amount a month, like almost 10K every month. And I was just like, this is not right. First, because I'm a student, which, by the way, if you're a student, you get pension tax exemption if you don't make money. And then the second part was like, well, it's my first year in Japan, so obviously I haven't been living here before, so why am I being charged so much for my tax? Turns out they made a mistake. So they do make mistakes. You make sure that you are not paying more taxes than you should, okay? Make sure of that.
Red tape in Japan is more organized than in America. That's actually, well, I can't compare to America because I've never been there, but the red tape here is crazy. Even Japanese people hate it. Like, you can ask every single Japanese person, they hate going to the city hall and doing anything that, you know, associated with all the red tape here. It's crazy. It's so bad. Like, I did not expect it, especially coming from the UK where things are very straightforward and simple. It was a big culture shock for me. And I know it is for Raina as well, because obviously, you know, I was live watching her reactions to all of this. I was like, yeah, I've been through all this. It was kind of interesting watching her go through it, because I remember I went through all the same stuff the first year and I experienced it all. It changed me as a person. Seeing her,
you know the meme of like the Yaki-chan meme with the hands on the head and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's basically, you're gonna experience that if you ever move to Japan. Like, that is a very tricky thing. Like you see Maho. So Maho in the chat, Maho is Japanese, and Maho said, I hate the city hall. Like, every Japanese person like hates the city hall. But to the contrary of what Raina said about everything being in Japanese, you need to study a lot of Japanese or like look at the papers before you leave, I want to give you a different perspective on this. I came to Japan basically not being able to read Japanese at all. I knew very simple kanji, and I knew like katakana, hiragana, but obviously the kanji is what you need to really read to understand stuff. So my first city hall had like 0 English assistants, and they were very like disorganized as well. However, no, actually no, it's my second city hall. They were like in the middle of nowhere, and it was very like countryside. So I actually didn't while there are issues with the staff being, you know, bots, the papers themselves, you can use Google Translate, because you know how it has like the photo system, like when you use the photo mode and it can actually like live translate. I was just live translating all my documents, and if there was something that I had to write in Japanese, I would just make them write it. So like, you can, as long as you put your foot down, as long as you're quite firm and you don't get anxious, you can actually do everything fine. Like, I never actually had any issues with mistakes, because I just used Google Translate when I couldn't read something. Or if I couldn't read it and I could understand, I'd ask them to read it for me. I'll say, you know, sumimasen, nihongo ga yomenai desu kedo, like, you know, I can't read it, can you read it for me? So they would read it out loud, and then I'd be like, oh, that's what it says. Because kanji, like, is quite hard to read and understand if you don't know it, and when they speak it, it's actually okay. So if you have better listening skills, ask them to read it for you. Just basically don't get anxious. I think that's the worst part. A lot of people get anxious because it's a new language. I definitely felt that anxiety at first, but honestly, there's tools to help you. There's translation tools. I know you just have anxiety. I know, but you know me. I don't really. I just kind of, I have no brain.
I'm always anxious. I'm always like, I go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I would suggest just keeping your calm. Just saying, like, you know, if you can't read it, say, can I use my phone to translate, or can you read this out loud to me? They will help you, like, they will. And even if they're butthole, like, people who don't want to help, you just use your phone and just, like, translate it. Like, I've literally never had any issues with paperwork and stuff like that here, because I just kept calm, and I didn't feel like I didn't force myself to speak in Japanese or write in Japanese. Just don't force yourself is, I think, the main, like, you know, issue here. 自分が英文でこれだけ学ぶの難しい思ってるから、海外の人が日本語を覚えるのはどんな努力かかるよ。Yeah, yeah, that's true. So basically, what Wayo said is that it's hard for Japanese people to learn a lot of English. So of course, it takes a huge amount of like effort for, like, you know, non-Japanese people to learn Japanese. And like, Japanese people are very understanding of that, actually. Obviously, City Hall people, maybe not so much sometimes, but they do in general, like, you know, understand. Because it's like, you know, it's sometimes it's really, it's a big experience, you know, moving to a country that has completely different writing system and language. So people are understanding. People are not as bad as you think. They're not going to force you to speak Japanese or anything. So
No, they will never force you. That's for sure. But it's true, like the people, like some don't expect anyone to like also like speak to you in English, because especially in city halls, will never, very rarely happened. Although the other day, actually, my city hall, I went there and an old lady talked to me in English, and I was like,
Aww.
"Excuse me, where were you? Like, are you new?"
Yeah, no, you do have these random people just being able to speak English, but yeah, don't go there expecting them to support you in English. Unless you're living in a place that has a lot of foreign people, they do have some, you know, things in place to help foreigners. But normally, no, and just basically use Google Translate if you have to. Use DeepL or whatever people use. Like, honestly, it's not... Just don't panic.
It's not impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from my experience, I was okay. Like, I didn't really have any issues. Any issues I did have, like with tax stuff, it was more like it was my problem kind of thing, not their problem. So it is, you can, you know, do it. Actually, Reina, so you mentioned things about health insurance and stuff like that. I think that's something, do you want to explain it? Because obviously, I think depending on which country you're from, for example, in the UK, we don't have health insurance and stuff, it's just free. So in Japan, it's mandatory. You have to pay health insurance and pension and residence tax and a whole bunch of like these taxes. But
it's all separated. They don't take it from your... You have to, like, for me, like, you have to, when you said, basically you have to go, when you go the first time to the Kyakusho, it goes through steps. So you first register, and then they send you to the national insurance area, and then they send you to the tax. So you go one by one. So those 3 steps are kind of like following each other. And the national insurance, the first time they didn't give me the card, and that was an issue.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh my god, I remember. Yeah,
they never gave me the card, but on the second ward I went, they actually gave me the card on the spot, like on the day. They were like, "Oh, just wait here and we'll give you a card," and they gave it to me on the day. So I'm not sure what went wrong the first time.
I'm actually confused as well, because I always got mine on the day as well, like on the spot. I never got mine sent by post unless it's the new one. They just give it to you on the day.
They never sent it to me, remember? Because we were like waiting for weeks. And, like, it
and they blamed you, remember? They blamed you?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. That was actually triggering. Like, yeah, so basically she was told, oh, you're going to get your, like, your health insurance card in the post. She was waiting, like, weeks. It didn't come. And she was like, oh, guys, I didn't receive it. They were like, oh, are you sure you didn't lose it? Or... The way they were talking to her was like, oh, it was her fault and she just lost it, or she just didn't notice that it was sent by post or something. It was so weird. So
pretty weird. I even had the paper saying that it was gonna be sent by mail. So I was like, you said to me you were gonna send it to me.
And they'll just act, you know, there's a possibility it got lost in post. They just didn't want to accept that possibility. They would just rather accept that, oh, she lost it somehow. It was so rude, but that's why you have to accept that, you know, people, the government workers here, they are pretty, some of them can be quite rude. And it doesn't matter whether you're foreign or Japanese, they will be rude to you.
So now you understand, now people understand like how I was so stressed the first month. With regards with the insurance, at the end of the day, you know, you have to pay. As I said, make sure that when you receive your first, they're gonna send you like a big envelope with a bunch of... So you have 2 options. You can either pay the whole year ahead, right? And there's one of the kind of like a check. It looks like a check. And you can go to the company and pay it in the company. Or you can pay individually each month, right? And they give you the 2 options. They send you a check with the full amount, or individual months cut by, you know, the whole amount. But make sure, for the love of God, you know, just make sure that what you're paying is what you're supposed to be paying. As I said, if you're a student, first, you're exempt of paying taxes. Second, not taxes, pension, not taxes, just the pension. Second, if it's your first year, you are looking into paying around 2,500, 2,000 each yen, 2,500 yen each month, more or less, on medical insurance. Okay, because you don't have a previous, especially if it's your first year, you don't have previous working experience, or you haven't been paying taxes in the country. It's your first time in the country, so you shouldn't be paying more than that. So if you move to Japan and they tell you to pay over 6,000 yen, which is what it happened to me per month, just go straight away to City Ward and be like, listen, this is my first year in Japan. You can't calculate this. There's an error. So make sure that you're paying very little if you're a student, because you shouldn't be paying more than that.
Yeah, they charge you the minimum because, as Reina mentioned, the amount you pay in taxes, so whether it's health insurance tax or pension tax or whatever, it's all based on the income of the year before, so the previous tax year. So
that's the word, income.
Yeah, so if you had no income in the previous year because you just moved, obviously you'll have to pay the very minimum. So she was being charged a lot more than the very minimum, so obviously, yeah, she got it sorted, but it was an issue. Can you pay at the company? Yes, so actually this is maybe one of the really convenient parts. You can pay your bills at the company. Like, you can just, they send your bill home and you can just take it to the company, they'll scan it, and then you just pay, and, you know, Bob's your uncle, everything's done. So that I do enjoy, but at the end of the day, I say that, but then in the UK, everything just gets taken out of your account automatically without all that faff. So I don't know if I should say.
I mean, you can do that as well in here. For example, like my electricity and the water, I had them on my card. By the way, if you're coming for only 1 year, you do not need a Japanese bank account, in my opinion. I don't have one.
Okay, so actually,
unless you need it if you want to do certain things, like actually no. I'm gonna say it's not a first necessity unless you have a job.
We actually had that question, like, how did you open a bank account? And I'm going to tell you, okay, so I'll tell you first. There's like a range of bank accounts here in Japan. And one of the biggest, like, main ones is actually the post office's, like, bank account. So Japan Post, which is the post office, national post office in Japan. Kind of, basically, you know, actually in the UK, I think the UK also has the post office bank account, right?
They lied to me.
Who lied to you? Oh, Japan Post. Oh yeah, you got bad experience with them, I guess. Okay, all right. Okay, let me talk about. Okay. So basically, the one that a lot of foreigners open first is a Japan Post bank account, because that's the easiest one to open. Yeah, and because it's very hard to open a bank account with some Japanese bank accounts if you're only living here temporarily. If you don't, and if you don't have a Japanese phone number, XYZ, like there's a lot of requirements. But Japan Post bank account. That is very easy to open, apparently. I mean, I had an okay time opening it. I just remember filling a form.
It is easy, but remember the catch. Your visa, if you want to open a Japan Post, there's 2 types of accounts, okay? There is a debit card account and there is a cash card account. So what they don't tell you and what they didn't tell me is that if your visa is due to expire within the next 6 months, so you have to have a minimum of 6 months on your visa left, you cannot open a bank account, a debit card account.
You know, back in my day, debit card accounts in the Japan Post didn't exist. It was just a cash card account.
The cash card.
Yeah,
bloody cash card.
There was actually no debit card. I've already told my chat about this already, but like debit cards only became a thing recently in Japan. Before, banks only had a cash card. You know, like you could only just use this card to take out cash from ATMs. You can't actually use. Back in my day, guys, 6 years ago, okay? It's not that long ago. 6 years ago. Things have changed. Like, I'm telling you, debit cards are literally a recent invention in the past, like, 5 years. Debit cards existed in the UK for, like, I don't know, 25 years or more. I don't know how long, but...
Yeah, they have this cash card, which is useless. It is utterly useless. You cannot do anything with it except take cash out. Well, it's so bad.
Back in my day, guys, we only had the cash cards in Japan. But now, 6 years later, you can open a debit card account. That's why I was so confused when you opened it. You're like, the debit card? I was like, what are you talking about? What debit card?
No, but they offered me the debit card, but they sent me the I said I want a debit card, and they were like, okay, just go into this QR code and start doing the form, blah blah blah. So I did the whole form, and then when I received the card, it was the cash card instead because they were they tricked me into creating an account for the cash card.
I see. That's why when she told me about that, I was like, "Are you sure you just didn't make a mistake? I think maybe you're the problem here, Raina. You're the problem because they only have cash cards." She's like, "No,
they do have debit card."
Yeah. Then she showed me. I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess she's not wrong. I don't know what happened there, but she just got the regular cash card." But yeah, okay. So basically, I think it's always safe, especially if you want to get a job. If you plan to get a part-time job in Japan, you do need a Japanese bank account. So the easiest one to open is the Japan Post one. Inev, I saw you said you never trust Royal Mail. Did you know the Post Office and Royal Mail are two different companies? Yeah. So anyway, so open a post office account, bank account here. It's the easiest one. It's very simple. The application, I think they might actually have an English version of it. Did you?
It is English. It is in English.
Oh, see, back in my day, guys, it wasn't in English. It was all in Japanese. Yeah.
Just make sure it is the debit one and not the cash card. Jesus.
Well, either way, if you just have an account, you can get your salary you've paid in or whatever. So, so I would just suggest opening up a bank account at Japan Post. If you want to open a Japanese bank account, that's a different experience, and I can talk about that. Personally, so this was again 6 years ago. I did open up a bank account with a Japanese bank. It was not too bad. I just went to the branch, sat down with someone. They gave me the form. I couldn't read Japanese very well 6 years ago, so I mean, even now I can't read it that well. But 6 years ago, I was really, new. So I just got them to read the form to me and explain it. And if I didn't understand, I just would use my Google Translate on my phone and just like translate. I was like, oh, okay. And most of the time they actually do that. You just fill it out in like English. So all you basically need is like, your bank account. So your phone number, your address, and like just small details. And I thought it was personally a very straightforward process. Basically, as long as you're not stupid, as long as you're not dumb, you can do everything here. Just, don't be stupid. Be like me. Don't be me. Anyway, so I think it's worth it opening up a bank account here.
Yeah, if you're gonna stay for longer than a year, I'm just saying that if you're staying only 1 year, it is not extremely necessary. Because I don't have one, and I've been surviving okay for the most part. Like there's only a few things like some websites, if you want to buy online, you can't. You have to use a Japanese card with a Japanese billing. Basically, if you have a card, even if it's a credit card, doesn't matter, American Express, doesn't matter. If your billing address is not a Japanese billing address, you cannot shop on those online sites. Yeah. There are other sites that if you have a phone number, you can shop and you can pay via the konbini. I think it's like 200 yen extra that you have to pay, which is not much, and that's what I've been doing. But some websites do not allow you to use a foreign card at all when you buy.
Yeah. I mean, just a matter of practice, though. I think it's just not difficult, having one anyway. I mean, it is a bit of a ball ache, I guess, trying to close the account. So if you want to avoid that, if you're only here for like a year or 6 months and you don't want to, bother, then you can just use your foreign account, your American account or British account, whatever. Like, debit cards and credit cards work fine internationally. So you can pretty much just use that to survive, especially if you're coming from the UK. The pound is like almost double the yen right now, so you'll be rich. You'll be super rich.
It's actually going down. It was like 186, 84. Yeah. It's gone down quite a lot. But yeah, you can definitely use your cards. Like I use my card, so I have British cards, and then I have a card that is it allows me to exchange into Japanese yen directly. So I've been using that card. It's a debit card. It's a regular debit card, but the application allows you to exchange in real time at the real exchange rate instead of having to go. Because if you go, you can take out money as well from certain places like 7-Eleven. You have to make sure that when you go to the cash point, it says international cards. Most of the international cards, the ATMs, they will allow you to exchange, and you usually have to pay taxes, which is like 110 yen, 220 if it's at night sometimes. But like Fish mentioned to me once, she was like, even Japanese people have to pay money when they take money out from their Japanese bank accounts.
Wait, okay, yeah, guys, actually, that's a really good thing to talk about. I think I've never actually talked about this. ATMs.
Really famous.
Yeah, okay, so ATMs. Wait, I wanted to mention first, ATMs, even though they are, you know, not humans, they also have a closing time, guys. You can't take money out after 5 p.m. for some of them. You can't take money out after like... It happens in the US too? Are we just spoiled right now?
Really?
Are we spoiled by the UK?
I think we are. In the UK, you don't, especially if you have a bank account, you go to a cash point, you take money out, you don't get charged anything.
Yeah, if you go, especially if it's like your own bank. But all ATMs owned by a bank in the UK. Well, firstly, a lot of them are 24 hours. Like they always work. Secondly, yeah, you don't get charged to take money. There's a person inside the ATM. but yeah, they're 24/7 in the UK and they're free. Obviously, if it's owned by some third-party company, then they might charge you like £1.50 per transaction. But in Japan, they basically all charge you. Even if it's your own bank, you get charged to draw money out from your own account. And also, a lot of them have closing times that you can't take money out after like a certain time. Now, it's okay because like if you have a Japanese bank, some Japanese banks have like systems like you get five free cash withdrawals a month or something like that. So for example, the bank I'm with, is called Sumitomo Mitsui, and actually the reason I went with Sumitomo Mitsui is because they were one of the first banks to actually offer a debit card. And the design of the debit card was really cool, by the way, so I'm going off topic, but I want to tell you about the design. The design was like black, and it was black and it had like a silver dragon.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was so cool. They changed the design. It sucks now, but back then the debit card was so cool. Like, you know, silver dragon with a black card. It was such a cool design, and yeah, I was like, oh, I definitely have to go for this bank. I just want that debit card. And yeah, they were also like one of the first banks to actually offer a debit card. So anyway, my bank, Sumitomo, actually offers, I think, 5 free cash withdrawals a month.
Maho said that he has 20.
You got 20? Whoa, okay, Maho, big boy Maho. Okay, all right, okay, big boy. I'm on the basic level of the account, so I only get 5. I think if you have like there's like different types of banks account. There's like a regular savings account, then there's like regular savings. There's also like there's like different levels of the accounts, and I have just a regular saving one, and it's not like the fancy one. I don't have to pay any fees for my bank account, so I only get 5. But but some banks have like a level up system. So for example, I know another bank called Shinsei. They have like a level up system. So the more money you put in your account, the more higher level your account gets. And if it's like gold status, for example, you get like 23 withdrawals a month. But yeah, it's weird systems. But the point is here, yeah, they do charge you to take out your own money.
Yeah.
So
see, I'm fine with it because they don't charge. To be fair, they don't charge me that much. It's, as I said, for example, for me, it's like 110 yen if I take from the ATMs from 7-Eleven, which are the most widely known in terms of like international. If I take from if you go to a combini, you know, a combini ATM, Famima, international car bank actually charges you. It depends of the time. If you take at night, it's like 220. If you take in the morning on a weekday, it's like 120.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's another thing we didn't mention. So the charges are different depending on the time. So if you take the money out from 8 o'clock till like 4 o'clock, it charges you maybe 110 yen. If you take it out after hours, like from 5 till like midnight or whatever, 5 to 11 p.m., they charge you 220 yen.
I don't know. The person inside the machine probably is working extra hours.
You gotta pay them the overtime. So you need to pay for the person inside. Yeah, you gotta pay the salary, man. Like they can't work for free.
Yeah, those things are the kind of things that you kind of have to like accept them and be like, shogunai, you know, it's shogunai.
Yeah.
It's like it is what it is. You have to accept it.
Wait, so Maho said that you don't really need cash anymore. Yeah, I think I mentioned this before. Japan used to be a very, very cash-based society. Like, bear in mind, I've been coming to Japan since... for over... Oh god, I don't want to say this. It's been like over 10 years I've been coming here. But back then, back in my day, guys, you needed cash. But ever since the Olympics, ever since 2020, Japan, I don't know what happened. It's like a huge overnight change. It's like literally felt like overnight. Suddenly everywhere started accepting card.
Wait, let me have beef here. Let me have beef.
Okay, let me
Because
hear
I have
it.
a big
I'll hear
big
it.
beef. This is big beef, Japan. Because you say that we don't need cash, but if you want to recharge your IC card, and this is the most annoying part, you want to recharge your Pasmo card to get on the freaking train, you have to do it by cash only. There is no way for you to recharge it unless you're an iPhone user. Unless you're an iPhone user. If you're an iPhone user, you can get your Suica card on the phone. However, if you're an Android user, you cannot have a Suica card on your phone.
This is actually a really good topic. Actually, thanks for bringing this up. This is actually a really good topic to bring up. Okay, so I can only compare to the UK because I think... okay, so I don't know if you're from a country that has proper train system like the UK and Japan. Maybe, if you want to top up your travel card... I mean, in the UK, nobody really uses Oyster anymore because you just use your debit card to, travel. But if you're still using like a travel card, like an Oyster card or whatever, you can usually top it up in a machine, a top-up machine, and you can top up and pay by card. And in Japan, you can't travel using your debit card or credit card. You have to use a travel card, either Suica or Pasmo or something like that. So, which is like the equivalent to an Oyster card for any British chip here. So the problem is here, in the top-up machines, they don't accept card payment. You have to pay by cash to top it up.
Yeah. Like even in the ATMs, the ATMs where you take the money out for in 7-Eleven, you can't charge your IC card in those machines as well because they have but you have to take the cash out first and then put it back. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, yeah, like it is a really weird like system here. I don't really understand like why they don't accept. I guess they must not want to like replace the machine.
It's a tax thing.
Tax?
I think it's a tax thing. They get charged. So I remember that when I was a kitten as well, living in Spain, if you wanted to use a certain card to pay for things, the bank, like the company will get charged like a tax, and I think that's the case. Like they get charged for it or something. I don't know. Because otherwise it doesn't make any sense for me. It doesn't make any sense for me that you can't use your debit card to pay for things, but like the train, because it should be the same system, but And yeah, like apparently like Japanese Androids, you can have a Suica, but when I tried to use my Android and tried to download the Suica, it was just like, nope, you cannot, your phone does not have the capability to do this thing. And I'm like, okay, good, thanks, GG.
Oh. I don't really understand. So basically, Japan is... Okay, so obviously you don't need to carry a physical card anymore. I think ever since Corona, right? There was like a shortage of chips, and because of that, they stopped producing physical cards. So they actually introduced like, in the Apple Wallet, you can put like cards. They actually introduced like online digital Suica. So the Suica card for your iPhone, and yeah, you can put it on your Apple Watch or whatever as well. You can use that to tap in and use your train travel. Now, as for Android, I mean, I don't use an Android because Japan is a very... all I'm going to say is that it is an Apple-based society. Like, things are more for iPhones than they are for Androids. So,
sadly.
I mean, it is just what it is here, right? And I don't mind because I'm an iPhone user. Yeah, whatever. Don't judge me. But I think it is a bit more difficult on Android to be able to use the card. But I think there is a way. I just don't know how it works. But
I tried with my phone and it was impossible. But I like iPhones, but I like my Samsung. Okay, I like my Android.
Wait, hold on a second. Wait, Wayo said なかなか機会ないと思うが、IC カードを使えない件もあるから気をつけてね。え？まだ IC カードを使えないところあるの？ It's 2025!
And you can use it?
Apparently in some areas you can't even use an IC card. Well, that's funny. But I mean, it's true. Like actually, there were some buses I had to use once, and you couldn't like use an IC card. You had to like buy a physical ticket. So pay the cash.
If you're coming as a tourist, like you can get now the tourist Suica, kind of like visiting Japan Suica. But let me tell you, because I had to get it. I went to an anime convention not long ago, and I forgot my passport at home. So because I was gonna be the whole day out, I was like, well, I'll get the 1-day tourist Suica. You know, why not? Why not? Don't get it.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna it's horrible. If you're gonna get the top up. The one is like 1,600 plus you have to pay 500 yen for the Suica actually to be printed. And then if you wanna go to places like, for example, Comiket is in Big Eyesight, right? If you go to Big Eyesight, that's a different kind of line. It doesn't belong to Japanese metro. It doesn't belong to JR. So you have to pay extra money to get off the train.
Oh yeah. So basically, there's different train. I can only compare this to the UK, but you know, in the UK we have like the London Underground TfL, and TfL kind of owns like all the, you know, the Central Line, the Circle Line, District Line, blah blah. It only charges you like to tap in and tap out. Whereas in Japan, there's different train companies. So there's JR East, there's Tokyo Metro, and they kind of interlink. So if you switch stations and you change to another company's train station, you'll get charged like twice to use both
and then you get things like Dinkai Line, Seibu, like all these lines that are different. They're supposed to some of the stations are okay, some of the stations are different payments, like different charges. It depends on what you get or where you go, kind of like extra. But usually if you buy like the 1-day ticket from like the Suica 1-day ticket, you're supposed to be able to go around the whole Tokyo metropolitan area, unless, and this is a trick, you get one of those weird lines.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, because Tokyo Beat Side is in the Tokyo metropolitan area, and that is included. It should be included within the 1-day Suica. It is not. You have to pay extra 300 yen if you go there.
I've always just used my Suica to go to Tokyo Big Sight.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about the 1-day Suica.
There's a 1-day Suica?
Yeah, for tourists.
1 day? Like you mean you get like unlimited travel or whatever?
Yeah, unlimited travel for 1 day. It's like 1,600.
Oh. Well, who's going to
Which
travel
can be
that
very
much in 1
useful.
day? Like for what? What would you use that for?
I don't know. Some tourists don't walk.
The Rinkai line is stupidly expensive. I don't know. I guess it's because they want to profit on everyone going to Disney. That's why they want to.
It's so expensive. But you don't need to get Rinkai to go to Disney, right? Because you go to Shigankiba and then change there.
Yeah, but then you still end up paying a lot of money because I don't know if it's the distance or whatever, but even if you use the other lines, you still have to end up paying a lot of money anyway.
Yeah, but they charged me literally because I took the 1-day Suica, and then obviously when you change into Rinkai is when they started charging me, and they charged me 380 yen extra to get to the Tokyo Big Side. Gross.
Yeah, I don't really go there often anymore because I don't go to like events anymore. But I remember it did cost, especially going to Disney as well. It always costs so much money. Can you guys drive scooters in Japan? I think Reina knows more.
I do.
Reina knows a lot about this because I don't. I only use the train and I walk. And
I am an addict. Listen to me. Listen to me. Ras, listen to me. I have an addiction, and my addiction is to get the electric scooters and electric bicycles that Japan has to offer.
Tell us your stories. She's always trying to convince me, like, oh, especially like traveling, because you've like worked it out to the T, right? How to use the bikes here and renting bikes and scooters. Yeah. Tell us about it.
I do have my own bicycle, but sometimes if you go out. And I'm wearing a dress or something, or I'm wearing a skirt, I don't take my bicycle for obvious reasons. But when you're a girly and you wear a skirt, you know, you can get a scooter. The scooters are so good. The first time I took a scooter, you have to do basically you have to log in the app, and I think you can do it as a foreigner as well. Like if you come here, you can definitely download the app. It's called Loop, the one I use.
Huh?
But Loop.
Loop. Oh, Loop. Okay, yeah.
Loop, yeah. L-U-U-P. That's the one I use the most, but there are
Loop.
some more. I tried to get rhubarb as well to get into one of the.
Can she ride a bicycle?
Yeah, I think she can. She said that she.
Oh
she
yeah, because
can.
you guys are planning to ride a bicycle together, right?
Yeah, we were gonna do like because I'm trying to get rhubarb to go into one of my bicycle rides. Like the other day, I did 20 kilometers. I went so far. But the electric ones are really useful, especially like because the way I use it is sometimes the walk from the station to my house is quite long, but taking the bus is like 200 yen or something like. It's crazy expensive. The bus is more expensive than the tube. No one tells you this, but the bus is more expensive than the tube.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I guess only if you're British, you'd understand this. Americans, I don't know if you'd understand this because I don't think you guys really have the same type of buses. But if you're from the UK, you know how like your local bus or even the London buses, it's like really cheap. It's like £1 or £1.50 to kind of like travel, right? Here, oh my god,
now.
buses are so expensive. They're always late. They're stinky.
Yeah.
They're slow. And they're just like, they look like they're from a billion years ago. And they also charge you like 300 yen.
Yeah, over 200 yen. And also like the only time when you can get a bus on time in Japan is when they are leaving from the depot. So if you actually get on the last stop and or the first one, if you're on the first stop, it's the only time that they're gonna leave on time. And then the bus, something happens magically and they never on time. Never, ever. They're never on time. They're always late. Or early. You never know. But in my defense, what I do is like I usually get the train to the closest station to my house. And if it's cold, for example, or if I'm really tired and I want to get home quicker, I would take a scooter or I would take an electric bicycle. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so easy. I would be home in like 5 minutes instead of like 20 minutes walk. And the scooters and the bicycles, I pay like 170, 180 yen, which makes it cheaper than the bus, and I get home quicker. It makes sense.
Oh.
That's why I use them. Yeah, that's why I use them. I also use them if I'm in a rush. Like if I need to be somewhere quickly and I'm like in a rush, I just take the scooter. Sometimes I take them to go back home if the trains have stopped at late night, you know? If I'm all night karaokeing with my classmates or something, I would take the scooter all the way back home.
That's convenient. Wait, so you don't need like some sort of license to be able to ride the scooter?
No, you just need to when you log in the app, you have to do a driving exam. Kind of like basic driving knowledge or basic circulation questions, like if you're they actually give you information first, so it's not like a blind test. You have to review certain information and then they ask you questions about the information that you just read. I didn't read it because I already drive, so I know how to drive and I know basic roadwork rules, but and I passed. But once I was out until like 1 a.m. and I had to go back home. So there weren't any trains, right? And I was on my way back home, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna take a scooter. So I went to the scooter station, and there were like 2 Japanese guys, like real drunk, drunk. They were really drunk, both of them, and they were trying to like figure out how to do the exam.
Oh, well, wait.
Yeah, because
this is on your phone, the exam, or it's on the machine?
Yeah, it's on your phone. There's not a machine. There's not a machine. There's a phone. Yeah. So, and in your phone you do the exam, but they were like really struggling with with the exam, and I was just there getting my scooter, and they were like, "Do you understand this?" And I was like, "Yeah, you have to do it. It's an exam." And I was like, "Gambatte."
Wow, well drunk though. I guess it's because they wanted to go home, and they were like, "Oh, we need to get a scooter," and they realized, "No, we're gonna pass some sort of exam." That's
Yeah,
funny.
they have to pass the exam. But yeah, it's really easy. Despite what these guys suffer for, it's actually a very easy exam. It's very basic knowledge of like, well, you know, the scooter has to go. This is something that bothers me though. The scooters have to go on the road for sure. You have to take the road. You can't go on the pavement with the scooter, which is fair enough. Okay, it's fair enough. However, the beef I have with this is the scooter can go up to 20 miles per hour. Which in most cases it doesn't, because sometimes the battery sucks. But why can't the scooter go on the cycling lane? Because you can't. It's illegal. The scooter cannot go to the cycling lane, but the electric mamacharis that go at 20 miles per hour.
I hate them so much. I hate them.
They're freaking wild mamacharis with the wild mamas on top, and they're electric bicycles, okay? They're electric bicycles. They can go up to 20 miles per hour as well, and they're humongously big. They're so dangerous to society. Just saying. They allow those ones to go on the pavement, but if the moment you step with the loop scooter onto the pavement, you get the police. And like, I've seen the police stopping many people just by driving the scooter on the pavement. The thing is, like, the scooters are really thin, and I had to take one of them in a road that it was really like kind of like an how do you call them in English? It's like an intercity motorway. Like, so it's not like a regular. No, it's like it's the motorway, but it's inside the city, so you have like different limit speeds.
I don't know car terms.
It's a highway, but it's in the city. Anyway, it's like a highway, and obviously to get to where I wanted to go, I had to take that road, and I wasn't allowed to use the scooter on the pavement, so I had to go through the road. I suffer for my life. I told my chat, I was like, I thought I was gonna die that day.
Because the driving here is kind of
wild.
Yeah, they drive really. I mean, it's something I didn't expect, is all I can say, the way they drive. I can't speak because I'm not a driver and I don't understand, but I feel very unsafe.
Yeah, especially like taxis. The taxis are great. They're amazing. They're super, super professional, but they drive like crazy men at night.
Maniacs.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, the maniacs. They take like the curves like they're freaking Initial D.
Now you make it sound cool.
Yeah.
Wait, you're making it sound cool now.
It's not cool.
It doesn't feel
it's
cool
not
when you're
cool.
inside, when at the back. But narrow roads. Okay, the UK also has very narrow roads, but all I'm saying is, okay, so when she mentioned mamachari before, mamachari is basically, there are bikes here. Parents or mothers usually put 3 of their kids at the back of their bicycle and start driving, like riding like crazy and on the pavement. And okay, since moving to Japan, another phobia I've developed is bike phobia, because the cars are so scary on the road, they don't actually use the bicycle lane on the road. They ride on the pavement, even though they shouldn't. They ride on the pavement.
Yeah, but it's very scary to drive on the road.
If you're just a pedestrian walking down the pavement, you have to be aware that there's like bicycles coming at you from both directions, and they're not even, it's illegal for them to like ring the bell at you, but they still do it anyway. So like, and you don't even know sometimes, like, what if you're listening to music or whatever, or what if you're just walking and, you know, and then they're like, ding, 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 and they're like cycling full speed, hustling towards you, and they just narrowly miss you. And, you know, it could be like, you know, you're just chilling and walking, and there's a mother with 3 kids strapped on at the back of her bike, and she's like hustling full speed towards you. It's the most scariest experience ever. Like, it actually, I feel like, shortened my lifespan by 10 years. Every time I just hear a bicycle behind me, I just feel fear. My heart starts beating so fast. You know, like in Peter Pan, Captain Hook, every time he hears a ticking noise, he starts to go, that's me when whenever I hear a bicycle.
No, I already told you, I really think, like, especially like Mama Charis, I don't think all cyclists are bad per se. Like, cyclists are bad.
I hate them all. Hate them all.
You hate me? I'm a cyclist.
Okay, just don't be mean to people on the pavement.
I'm not mean, but in all fairness,
right?
As a cyclist, you know, like certain areas have a cycling lane and a pedestrian side, right?
Yeah.
I'm also annoyed as a cyclist at pedestrians that just walk leisurely on the cycling lane, and you're like, ring, 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 and they just don't move.
Who
and you're like,
walks on
please.
the cycling lane though? That's the road.
Oh my god, a lot of people walk on the cycling lane.
No way.
Yeah, everyone, they annoy me so much because I'm trying to be, you know, like follow the rules as a cycling lane, and I'm like, I can go on my cycling lane, but obviously this person has decided to, I don't know, chat. The other day there were like two girls with the oshikatsu and the whole things, and I was just like, ring, 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 sumimasen, sumimasen. And they were just not moving, just chatting about their oshis, and I was like, please, for the love of God, get out of my way, move.
Yeah, but the cycling lane is on the road, right? It's like connected to the actual...
No. Sometimes, so in some areas, you have a cycling lane and it looks like a road, and then you get the regular pavement, and it's divided by a white line. And there is also like a cycling logo painted on the road, and then the walking logo. So I think that in those cases, the cyclists have preferences, like preference on the cycling lane, but if you're a pedestrian, you can also walk on there, but you should move if there's a bicycle, but they don't move. But I agree with the mamachari, like, and this is something that I am studying at the moment. It's kind of like I'm gonna make this the study of my life. What is with mamacharis and Japanese mothers and their perception of reality? Because like Fish said, sometimes there is like a 20 centimeter space gap between the pedestrian and the wall, and they fully knowing this, they fully knowing that there's only 20 centimeter gap, they look at the gap and they're like, yeah, I can pass, I go, and they go full speed. They don't even slow down. Even me as the cyclist, sometimes I've had a mamachari behind me and I slow down because there's an old person with a cane in front of me, and I'm like, I'm gonna give this old person enough space, you know, so they don't feel threatened by the presence of a bicycle, so they can like keep walking without being anxious that there's something behind them. And these mamas, they just come, and the moment I slow down, they just overtake me within 1 centimeter distance of my bicycle, and they just full go through. It's crazy. They're crazy.
I've literally had experiences where I'm walking and cycling, the cyclists are coming both directions, and they literally just miss me by like maybe an inch on either side. They cross me. And this tiny little gap is because the pavements here are very, very thin, very narrow. And they just like speed past you. There's like a tiny gap. Like if you just even move your arm a tiny bit, you can knock them off kind of gap. And I'm the one that's going to be knocked. I'm the one that's going to be suffering. Not me, not them, me.
You know, especially like because this is another thing, like when there's a crossing, right? Like a zebra crossing. Sometimes the zebra crossing is in the way and you get these bicycles just like going zigzagging across the pedestrians, waiting on the...
I hate that so much! I hate that so much! I hate that so much! Yeah, so you know like the crossing or even the zebra crossing, right? Yeah. When you walk, you just want to walk through with a straight line. You want to go past, but oh my god, imagine you're at one end of the road and the other side, the opposite end, there's like, it's scary, there's like 10 bicycles staring at you. And you start walking and they're all like, oh, this is so scary! And they're all like riding across, and you have to, you know those like, you know how I imagine it? You know when you're like breaking into like the diamond vault and there's like the lasers everywhere and you gotta like dodge all the lasers? That's basically what it is across the road.
It's like in Ocean's 12 where like they put the music just go dancing. You
gotta like weave through all the bicycles and they're gonna like run you over. It's so scary. Like, oh my god. Like maybe I'll just say I'm bicycle. I can't ride a bicycle, but
no. Even like the thing is, like, even when I'm on the bicycle, I've had issues with other cyclists as well, because by rule technically you need to be, so you always go on the left side, okay? So you're always on the left side, so because it's how they drive in Japan, they drive on the left, so you go on the left. But sometimes you get someone driving in front of you on the left side as well, and technically it's their right side, and you're like, can I please, can you move? And they don't move, and then you have to move, and then it's a pedestrian on the other side. It's just annoying. Yeah, it's very annoying because they you know what they say, this is not beef, it happens in every country, you know. People tend to like say that Japan is special because everyone follows the rules. Just wait until you live here. Just wait until you live here. And then we'll see if...
No, I hate that too, is when they kind of romanticize Japan like it's a really perfect country. Every country has problems. Like, every country has its own pros and cons. And Japan is certainly not the worst, I think. But
no, of course not. Of course not.
But let's say you come from another country where you're used to things being a certain way. It can certainly be a culture shock, is what I can say. Like, that I can say confidently.
Yeah.
Certain conveniences, especially, I can only obviously speak for British people, but like certain conveniences and things you took for granted in the UK, yeah, you'll really learn to appreciate it once you move to another country, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is. It's just like driving in this country, regardless if it's a bicycle, a car, a motorcycle. I've seen cars and motorcycles do absolute madness on the road. Like, things that are not... I've seen a car, like a car do a U-turn in a single way road as well. Just getting all over the pavement, like that kind of things. That it happens here more often than you may think. There's something that really surprised me as well. Like, when someone needs to take a break, a driver wants to take a break, or whenever they want to just like scroll on their phones, they just pull out to the side of the road. It doesn't matter which road it is, they will just pull out of the road. And they just like take a nap or something. Have you seen that? Have you seen like cars on the side of the road and then there's a guy inside just sleeping?
I have. And I used to walk past this little minivan, and this man would play his shamisen like every like, I don't know, I guess he was just taking a break at the same time every day. And every time I walk past, he's just playing his shamisen at exactly 3 p.m. So inside his little like minivan thing. So I think yeah, it's very casual to do that here as well. And Maha said there's like no rules. I think what it is, right, the UK has very, very, very strict road rules. Like, you can speed even a tiny bit, there'll be a camera snapping your photo of your car and sending a fine home. Like, it's very... In the UK, it's very stringent, the road rules and speeding rules and things like that. So you mess up, you're going to be paying hefty fines. I'm not a driver, but I think within this country there's less CCTV.
Yeah, it's very, very... No, even the police, you know, like the police officers, they go around with their bicycles. But I've seen fully illegal movements happening in front of the police, and they don't do anything really.
Yeah, they kind of avoid the conflict, some of them, so they won't. They'll just be cycling on, like, okay, well, carry on then. They'll be pretending they didn't see anything. Yeah,
they only care when it's the scooter. I swear to God, they only care when it's a scooter.
That's what I was asking. Like, don't you need special licenses to ride a scooter? Because I feel like scooters are scary. Like, if someone like me, let's say someone like me rode a scooter.
No, I think you have... I can see you having fun, though. I can see you being like...
Yeah, you would probably have fun, but I probably might knock someone over.
No, you can't.
You know I lack balance. You know how I am.
No, but there's different kind of scooters. There's one of the... So there's another company called Lime. The scooters from Lime, I think you would like them more because you can sit down. It's kind of like there's a full seat. You don't have to be standing. You can just sit down and enjoy.
Oh, that's like kind of like a granny.
Yeah, but they're fun. They're still fun. I don't know.
At that point, you might as well walk if it's that slow.
No, it's not slow. It goes at 20 miles per hour.
And you have to ride on the road?
Technically, yeah, you have to.
I
mean, what I do when I want to avoid having issues, I ride it on the small roads. So instead of going on the main road, I would go behind on the small path. There's barely cars around there. There's no cars in the small roads. Que no.
I don't want to do that. No, I'm scared. I feel like I'm definitely gonna knock someone over. I'm not. I don't trust myself on the road, guys. I just don't trust myself. Exactly. I'm gonna knock myself out first. I think I'm gonna cause some sort of road accident. I don't want to be responsible for that.
In brief, basically, those are my beef. Like, my main beef, you can't charge your thing unless you use cash. Second, bicycle stuff. And like driving crazy in this country. They drive like crazy, like deja vu all day.
Okay, so tell me the advantages, the pros, the positive stuff. Like, what did you enjoy being while living as a student in Japan? What were the what's something that you know, think, oh, this made my whole year worth it, or this made this experience worth it?
The convenient. It is such a convenient country. Despite the inconveniences of the bureaucracy, the convenience of the daily lifestyle is great in terms of, for example, now that I think about it, it is very inconvenient in terms of trains and stuff not being all night, all that. But you get the scooter. But things like, I don't know. Even when you go into the combini, some people view this as a bad thing. Sometimes it bothers me, but when you order just a carton of milk, right? And they give you a straw with it.
I mean, I use the straws.
It's convenience. It's convenient.
I use the straws. I love the straws.
It's convenient. Or everything is catered towards your for you to have an easy life. Which again, for some people it might be a culture shock. Like for me, I see people all the time, and this, I mean, it just shocks me because there's one station specifically, there's a couple of them, but the one station that has an escalator, and the escalator is the tiniest escalator I've seen in my life.
Okay, I know what. Okay, but I think that is for disabled people though.
Yeah, but no one. I've seen like three disabled persons.
I know what you're gonna say. Okay, so basically, yeah, when she's talking about the overconvenience, I think it is catering a bit too much, yes, because, for example, every station does have escalators and lifts, right? But the people you see using the escalators are not usually the disabled ones. They're just people who are perfectly able to walk, myself included, by the way. But okay, but in my defense, I walk on the other side of the escalator. I walk up the escalator. For me, it's about saving time. You know, you can walk up the stairs or you can walk up the escalator. You know, walking up the escalator.
No, listen to me. We're talking. This escalator is made to go up. How many steps? Wait, let me count. Yeah, I can visualize it like 10, no, less than 10 steps. Okay, it's like 8 or 7 steps.
Okay, yeah, there are many. Yes, there's many escalators that have, you know, the one in Akabane Station, the one that has like 5 steps to go up. Yeah, there's like there are some tiny escalators too.
Yeah, those are made for disabled people. But then again, like it amuses me because some stations don't have absolutely anything, and especially when you are like with suitcases and stuff. I presume that like disabled people find it harder, obviously, but like. From my point of view, it's like when I'm with 2 suitcases, it makes it so hard to get to places when you have to go up and down like stairs. But then you find these 5 steps, 7 steps escalators, and then people queue for them. Okay, I'm not saying don't use them. I'm saying there are queues to take these.
Yes, there's queue. Like it's crazy. Like even at my local station, right? There's a lift on the platform, and there's also there's 3 flights of stairs. There's 2 flights of stairs. There's a lift, and there's an escalator. When you get out the train, the line to use the escalator is like basically most of the train. By the way. You can just simply walk up the steps, don't even take the lift, but you know.
I know! But for me, if it's a big stair, you know, I understand. Maybe you're tired. But when it's 5 steps, 6 steps, like, bro, why are you waiting? Why are you waiting in this queue? I think they just do it automatically.
They do. It's an automation. It is just an automatic thought process, I think. And I do think sometimes conveniences like this are not particularly a good thing. I think, actually, I remember reading an article about it, a Japanese one, about how Japanese people are using steps less and less because they just keep automatically defaulting to using the escalator instead of actually exercising and using the stairs. And it's actually becoming like a problem because obviously escalators are good for accessibility. Like if you've got suitcases, if you've got kids, I don't know, like you do need it. But if you are a perfectly able, you know, 20, 30-year-old person or even a kid, like you don't need to. Like
You don't. But they just this was what we're talking about, the automation system. They just see someone queuing for this guy and they just queue. And they don't think, oh, I'll be faster. Because I think the majority of people, when they are out, especially when they're on a walk or they are out for leisure, they are out for leisure, which means they do not conceive, they're not in a hurry. I think I have the London mentality of I need to rush everywhere. Like I need to be fast every time. And for them, it's like if I have to queue in this I don't know, 30 people queue to take an escalator that will take me upstairs 5 steps. I will do it because I'm not in a rush. But for me, it feels like a waste of time. Like, why would you do that? Just go upstairs. Just walk upstairs. Why are you waiting? just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are yeah, overly convenient. There are other things that are really good, like in every combines are really convenient. Like that's the name, but they actually are very convenient. Not only you can pay your bills and things like that. You can also, every single combini will have a printing machine where you can print every single document by downloading an app on your phone. You can scan documents. You can send parcels as well on the convenience store, which is really amazing. And they have everything that you may need, from clothing to safety things like I don't know, like health stuff. The only thing they don't sell is medicines. You actually have to go to a drugstore to get medicines. Yeah.
Yeah, because like even
not
in
like
Tesco Express, you can get like paracetamol or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here you just go to the drugstore. But the drugstores are also open until very late.
Yeah.
So it's really convenient.
Best of all, companies have fax too. They do. They have the fax machines.
They do have fax machines.
I told them a story like when I was a company needed me to fax them something ASAP. I was like, what do you mean? Can I not just send it by email? No, you got to send it by fax. I was like, but I don't have a fax machine. Just go to the company. I said, the company has a fax machine? They're like, yeah. I'm like, well, how do I use it? They're like, oh, don't worry. It has instructions. Go there and figure it out. It was a very surreal experience using the fax machine at 7-Eleven for the first time. I didn't even know they had one, but yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's fun.
最近の Sorry, carry on. I was just reading a comment.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, I was just reading why it was cool. 最近のコンビニの品揃えも豊富になってきたよね。わかる。コンビニだけで生活できそうなもんね。There's like so much, like you can basically live your entire life through the combini other than, you know.
Well, my first month before I got my microwave and my kettle, I was just living off combini.
Yeah.
I was just going there 3 times a day. I think they knew my face by then. Like, with this cat coming with the green hair every day. But yeah, things that I really enjoy living here are also customer service is superb.
Yeah.
It is something that there is joy into going to places, okay? Every time you go to a place, I feel joy. There's so much as well, so much variety of things. And I'm a tabearuki person. Like, I really like going out for food and going out eating, and cafes especially. And like, Fish knows this. I am a cafe person. I love cafes.
Oh, yeah.
My Google stars, my Google points, I have over 200 places like listed around Japan. I really, really like going to cafes. And this country has some of the most amazing cafes I've ever been in my life. I love going there. I love the experience of being relaxed. They're very relaxed and they're very nice, fun. The food is great as well. They put so much attention to every single detail in everything they do. Even like chains, you know, like kind of more
Presentation.
Maybe, yeah, the presentation of it is really nice. And the variety of it as well. It's really, really good. I love bakeries as well in Japan. Even though they don't have real bread, they have Japanese bread, which is great. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, when in Rome, do as Rome do, right? If you are in Japan, eat the Japanese bread.
Yeah. I actually found a couple of bakeries in the city that offer normal bread. It's more expensive, of course, and also they're in the middle of nowhere. But I did find them, so I'm happy about that. But I don't know, Japan has one of those places that someone has an idea about a cafe with one niche and you will find it. You want a pudding cafe? There are pudding only cafes. That's what you want. I love it.
What's the difference between real and Japanese bread? Japanese bread is like softer and sweeter. Like it tastes sweet. Like at least in Europe, bread is more. Well, there's different types of bread with different types of textures and flavors. There's like, you know, sourdough, there's rye, there's just a regular toast, Warburton's toast bread. Like, you know, there's every bread has its own kind of texture. It has different ingredients as well. Here it's just all kind of like, it's like milk bread basically. It's very soft, it's very sweet.
But I don't mean like when I say real bread, I don't mean shokupan. So shokupan is shokupan. Shokupan is their own Japanese bread, like Japanese bread, okay? It's their own bread. When I mean real bread is because if you go to a bakery here, they will sell you a quote mark baguette or quote marks sourdough, and then you grab this. It looks like a baguette. It looks like a sourdough, and then you grab it, and it's so soft, so it is chewy.
Yeah.
The looks of it looks like real bread. It looks like real bread, and then you grab it and you can squeeze it in your hands so easily. You can't do that with a real baguette without like hurting yourself.
Yeah, like I said, like obviously there's different types of breads, right? Like you have baguettes and sourdoughs or whatever. They will have it here. It will look like it. It's baguette shaped. It's sourdough shaped. But it's not baguette flavored or sourdough flavored or textured. It just looks like it, but it's just really funny now thinking about it.
Yeah, it really bothers me because sometimes I look at a bread and I'm like, yo, that looks amazing. And then I grab it in my hands and I'm like, hold on a second. You tricked me.
If it doesn't try to break my teeth, is it really bread? If I can't use it as a sword, is it really a baguette?
Exactly. Exactly.
No, yeah.
Someone is asking if it's spoil fast. I would say yes. I find myself, I think food in Japan spoils really quickly, especially fruit. The fruit spoils really quickly here as well. I think it's the weather, the humidity.
Experience is very okay, yeah. If I leave bread out during the summer here, yeah, it does spoil.
Yeah.
It gets moldy within like a few days. It is this humidity based when it comes to like bread at least. But
yeah, bananas get like brown so quickly as well.
Yeah, but if you put your bread in the fridge, it lasts for months here.
Excuse me, but no. Fridge, the bread does not belong inside the fridge.
I'm just saying, the fridge is cooler than the outside. And all I'm saying is, I'm not saying I have experience. I'm not saying I have experience having bread in the fridge for 3 months. But let's say if I did experience keeping bread in the fridge for 3 months, all I'm saying is there was no mold. The bread was completely fine. The thing is about bread.
First of all, bread never lasts more than 3 days in my house, okay?
Oh, that's true. You actually eat your food, but okay. So basically, listen. The bread here, the flour is like super bleached, and because the flour is so bleached, there's nothing to go off. Like yes, because mold can grow on anything outside as long as there's like there's humidity, there's like some moisture. Mold can grow on anything, right? But so if it's in the fridge, obviously there's less likely for the mold to grow, and especially because the flour is so bleached, it's almost like, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying I had bread in my fridge for 3 months, but let's say if I did have bread in my fridge for 3 months, all I'm saying is it was completely fine. And also milk, like doubly factory made food. Maha loves the factory made food.
But the milk got like I got spoiled milk and I left it for like a week in my fridge.
That's crazy. Is that your fridge temperature or what? Because like
no, my fridge is quite cold inside.
I don't understand it because I've had milk like for months in the fridge here and it didn't go off.
Do you buy like the full fat Hokkaido kind of?
I do.
Yeah.
Is that why?
That's another thing that is no, mine was like full fat. That it got spoiled quicker, I think, because it has more fat into it.
Huh?
If it's watered down, it shouldn't get spoiled. But if it's like full fat, it really gets bad within. Have you smelled your milk?
Yeah, I smell it. I drink it. It's completely fine, and nothing happens. I don't like
Oh, maybe it is my fridge. Even though everything else is fine, it was just the milk.
I mean, in my past 6 years here, right, I've only ever had spoiled milk once, and that's because it was in my fridge for like 2 months. So it was opened for like 2 months. I mean, and same. I've had bread maybe for 3 months in the fridge before it got moldy, and I've had eggs for like almost a year, and they were fine in the fridge.
In the fridge.
The fridge is the savior, okay? The fridge, everything lasts in the fridge. So
it's a cryogenic fridge.
Okay, yeah, but if this was the UK, it wouldn't happen. Like even in the UK, your milk would go off in like 3 days in the fridge.
Yeah, like fresh milk, yeah.
What? It's not fine, I think. Maho, doubly factory made food. Because the milk is also like very like ultra heat treated to the point there's nothing that really goes off. You must have gotten some. What kind of brand milk did you get?
It depends of the day. I like to try. That's the thing. I like to try different things. So it might have been this specific brand.
Yeah, I guess it might have been. If it's some expensive brand, I'm talking about regular supermarket brands like, you know, Meiji, or even just a supermarket brand or whatever. Like those ones, they will last forever.
No, but you should know. I like to. I'm the kind of person. We both do. I think we both do. We like to try all the stuff that comes new into the supermarket.
Yeah, but I feel like you're better at that kind of thing. Like with Reina, right? I really rely on her to like she loves one of the things she loves to do is like exploring the local area, like literally just the local area, and seeing like what's special in the local area. Like I've lived in my current place for about my current area for about 4 years, and she discovered like all these like local like cafes and like, you know, bakeries and things around in my area. Like one of her favorite places, she said, well, you said it's the #1 top favorite cafe, right?
It is my favorite cafe in the whole Japan.
Yeah.
I've never been to a place that good.
So the first time we went there, like she found it. I think you just found it on Google, didn't you? Like Google Maps or whatever. You were just looking around the area.
Yeah, I was looking around a way to walk to a nice park that there was nearby. And I was looking, I think it was like an hour walk or something.
Yeah, we walked all the way there, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was actually such a fun adventure because we walked past like loads of weird little houses. And like these are the small things that I really enjoy about Japan as well, myself, because you really get to see random stuff that I feel like you wouldn't see in other countries. Like remember that house that had like weird decorations, like the Christmas decorations,
like the faces.
Yeah,
the faces.
The faces, and it had like, it was really weird. Like it was quite freaky, but you know, it's fun. It's part of the experience.
Yeah, honestly, that cafe is certainly. We're not gonna say what it is because obviously doxing, but it is my favorite place in the whole Japan.
Gatekeeping the cafe, guys. She's gatekeeping it. She doesn't want you guys to know.
It's really small though. It's a very small cafe. Like there's only you know there's like 8 seats maybe.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the nicest things about Japan too, because you can find all these tiny hole in the wall places just owned by one person, and they're just working there on their own. Just, you know, just living their life. And we went to this cafe. It was really beautiful from the outside. Inside was tiny. It was like really nice aesthetic as well. We sat down. We ordered. It was really good. It was really good food there as well.
Yeah, I recently found as well a bakery that the bakery itself is no. I would say the place is no bigger than what, like 10 meters square. It's really small. It's really small, but they do the baking in a communal oven, because there are places in Japan like communal kitchens where you can rent them and you can go there and do your baking and stuff.
Wait, really?
And then you can sell your things.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh my god.
Yeah. Not only that, there's also like workshop places where you can go. So for example, if you're a cosplayer and you don't have enough space in your house, there are places where you can sew. They have sewing machines and stuff. It's like a workshop, and you just pay to go there, and you can do sewing and crafting.
I know there are places like that for Gunpla as well, like to do, you know, the Gunpla building.
Yeah, and that's the convenience of this country. Like, there's always something and somewhere that you can go if you don't have enough space, because all of the houses are quite small in this country, right? So you can't do the things you like in your house. What they do is they make it convenient so you can enjoy your hobbies outside. Like, again, with the whole cosplaying thing, it's like there are studios where you can take pictures, because obviously in Japan it's frowned upon to like do cosplay on the street, like have that kind of stuff. So I went to a cosplayer hairdresser recently, because of course there is a hairdresser that specializes in cosplay here. And it was far away as well. I had to take my bicycle. And I asked the guy, why is it frowned upon in Japan to do cosplay and to go to events? I asked him the question. And he said that a long time ago, it was okay to do so. But because famous cosplayers, for example, would go on the train dressed up, a lot of people would stop by the station and like take pictures of them. It was really, really inconvenient, because there were like loads and loads. And this guy, this hairdresser, he has like a 10-year experience on doing cosplays, wigs.
Mm.
And he said that a bunch of years ago, yeah, like cosplayers would go to the station, they would create like havoc because a lot of people would just stop to take pictures of them. You know, like how people are when they see a cosplay.
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
they just go
yeah.
like,
Well, especially like I don't know if there's a famous one. Like I don't know.
yeah, and it was like, you know, it was really annoying for the station because they would block entrances, they would block all the way. The people couldn't go into the train. It was a big meiwaku for everyone. So they basically were like, please do not cosplay. And like stations, they banned them completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's a big thing.
I didn't think about it that way, but it's true.
Yeah. I was like surprised when he told me. I was like, wow, okay.
Well, I mean,
like, yeah.
for me, I would have assumed it's because it looks like really, it's kind of inconsiderate, especially it stands out too much. Like even in the UK, I felt really like self-conscious going out in cosplay, like going to a con
he
cosplay.
did say that. He said that. He said, well, it's a bit urusai, you know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I mean, I can understand that as well. But no, I think, wait, what was the topic? Why were we talking about this? Oh, yeah,
convenience.
Yeah, convenience, yeah. Yeah, I think it is very cool that there are lots of, what's the word? Ways, there's lots of, I forgot the word I want to say in English. There's lots of like ways for people to be able to do things, like even like recording studios, dancing studios, gunpla building places, sewing, as you said, baking. The communal baking like oven kitchen thing was actually, I never knew that, but that makes sense. That really makes sense, yeah. But also like even just like internet cafes, like if you can just go out with your friends and just go to an internet cafe and play games together, like go play Apex together.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that.
I've
done that with my classmates.
yeah, we just went to like an internet cafe, played Marvel Rivals like together. Like it's really nice that you do that. Yeah,
it's so cheap. There's one place that I went with my classmates, and we were gonna stay for 3 hours, but they have we checked the times, right? In 3 hours we pay 1,000 yen with a student discount. But it was 1,000 yen for 3 hours, But if you wanted to stay for 10 hours overnight, it was 1,700 yen.
Yeah, just so cheap. Yeah,
10 hours. It's so cheap.
It's so cheap. Yeah, internet cafes used to just rest. Yeah, like usually, like let's say you're out at night with your friends and then you miss the last train. No problem. Go to an internet cafe, pay like maybe less than 2,000 yen. You can stay there for like until like 6-7 a.m. Just play games with your friends all night, or just sleep. The chairs are like super comfortable. There's like booths as well.
You can also take a shower as well. Some of them, they have showers.
And they have free food.
Yeah.
So it's really convenient. I think that's one of the things I definitely miss if I move back to the UK. Or when I move back to the UK, I guess.
Even like co-working spaces are quite nice. There's one that is really expensive, but because it's very bougie. But I went there to study once, and you pay a pro rate of like, I think it was like 1,200 for 1 hour. Only, which is expensive, but then again, this was in a very, very, very bougie area, okay, very, very posh area, and it was 1,200, but you had unlimited food, unlimited drink, and all of the food, even like frozen food. We're talking about not just ramen, like typical cup noodle. No. We're talking about proper frozen meals as well, desserts, snacks. They had yogurts, ice creams, everything. It was so much. It was crazy. I didn't study. I just ate.
Yeah. There's actually a place in Shibuya, I think, in you know where the style used to be.
Yeah. That's
Is that the place you're talking about? Oh, yeah. That place.
Yeah, but they have more. Yeah. They have one, like the one above the Starbucks.
Yeah, that place. They turned it into some kind of co-working space, right?
So good. It's so good though. It's
really good. Like you can get like unlimited food or drinks or whatever, and just like pay one fee to sit down. Yeah, I like stuff like that. I do think the quality of things here are so high, especially because I'm very concerned about value for money. And one thing I think Japan excels at is value for money. They really will give you the value for your money.
I agree. There's only a couple of places where I've been, this is overpriced for what it is. The majority of the time, I cannot. Even like when you go to some yakiniku places, and you're like, how do they make money? Because what they charge me, it doesn't feel real. We went, some friends and I, we went to a Wagyu all you can eat barbecue. And like, how much was it? Like 5,000?
I mean,
and it was wagyu.
those places
Wagyu.
also use like non-Japanese cows as well for their
Yeah, no,
wagyu,
but
so
still, like
cheaper.
the food and the meat was great.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah, I feel like if you're a wagyu enjoyer, save it for when you come to Japan because it is cheaper, much cheaper to enjoy
Yeah.
wagyu in Japan. And
But you have to be careful because there's also lots of places that take advantage of tourists.
especially
In Kobe, yeah. In the cities and stuff, not so much. But in Kobe, if you go to actually Kobe, there's so many places that will take advantage of the whole Kobe beef, wagyu beef.
Yeah. You go to the places that don't advertise to tourists, and then you usually, I mean, I know everyone knows that, it's kind of common sense, but usually you see someone going, oh, they're trying to speak English, welcome, come here, and blah blah. If you see English signs everywhere, avoid it. Avoid it. It's probably overpriced and not good.
Same with the izakayas, right? Like izakayas, the best izakayas are the ones that are not advertised, the ones that local go, the ones where they allow smoking still. Oh my god, those places.
You know the one we went to the other day with rhubarb, the one, oh yeah, you know the one.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
that place though. I love the place.
The one that we went to last, the one when we, you got the.
Oh no, that one.
That one was good before. I mean, I think it was the tabehoda that was really the true value in that place. But the fact that we went there and there was smoking, and we were like, ugh, it just really put me off my food because they were just smoking, and it was like invading
But
my nostrils.
there's a lot of places that even the cheap one, the cheap izakaya, the crazy cheap one.
Oh yeah,
with
that
the
one.
massive chicken.
Yeah,
That's good. But they allow smoking as well.
Well, we were lucky they didn't really smoke when we were there, right?
No, but they do allow smoking in that one.
Yeah, there's this izakaya we really like to go to. It's super cheap. Izakaya is basically like it's like a restaurant. It's like a pub and a restaurant rolled into one. Like in the UK, pubs, you usually go there to drink. You don't really go there to eat, at least in the evening.
I like to say that going izakaya is like going tapas, because it's like small bites, except that place which has massive amount of chickens, like pieces of chicken the size of my face.
Izakayas are fun. We go there like all the time. Like it's just a normal thing to go there like after work or just to meet up with your friends. You just eat and like drink, and it's just nice. And they have loads of like it's not just alcohol. You can drink like juices and non-alcoholic cocktails and things. Like they have loads of stuff there. Lots of mainly beer. People mainly go there to drink beer
and highballs,
and beers and all that. So, it's nice. I really would miss izakaya culture as well. Actually, to be honest, that's my.
I'm gonna miss it.
We always go. It's such a normal routine for us that it's gonna really be. Ooh, wait, now it's sinking in. No.
We still have before I leave. We still have like a couple of izakayas that you haven't been. I went with Ruber, and we're trying to take fish to
the food
izakaya.
hall. I want to go there.
The food hall. Because it has like this drink with like lots of stuff, and it looks so fancy and it's delicious, and it's actually like 400 yen, 300 yen.
It's very like Showa era, Showa style, I think. That place.
Yeah, it's so cool. We really want to take you there. It's not the same as the cheap one, but it's a bit more expensive.
But it looks nice. Yeah, it looks nice, and it's fine. It's usually noisy. Izakayas are noisy, but I kind of like the bustling atmosphere, like of I like
everyone having fun,
talking, and just it feels for me that I think it's because like I'm slightly extroverted, right? For me, I enjoy being surrounded by so many people talking and having a good time. It makes me happy. Yeah, so it's like
I like the fun environment as well.
Yeah, the whole like
very relaxed,
nigiyaka na kanji. So like the whole like the hustle and bustle and stuff like that. It really makes my mood better. So that's why I love the city so much. I remember
this is the thing is like I'm gonna stop being an alcoholic when I go back.
It's gonna be so expensive for you to be one.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop drinking again. The one thing that has changed since I moved back to Japan, since I moved to Japan, is like I started drinking a lot more since I moved here because it's so cheap.
It tastes like juice.
Yeah. It's like yummy juice.
Yummy juice.
Mango drink. Yummy juice.
It's basically yummy juice. It's flavored juice. because the alcohol level here is quite low percentage.
Yeah.
So for some
Like sometimes, like for some things, because then sometimes you ask for they have this cocktail, especially like toriki. Like Toriki Soku is like a very cheap yakitori franchise. Like they have lots of them around the country. And you go there, and all of the drinks, the soft drinks are quite nice. But when you ask for the gin one, have you seen the gin drink?
The
one that is
sweet
spring-
gin. Sweet gin? Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, that's so strong. That's so strong.
You think it's strong?
Yeah, that one. No, I don't know. Maybe the one they gave me, but I had it once, and I was just like, nope, never again.
Oh.
Where's my juice? Where's my Cassie's orange?
Oh.
That one is strong. Maybe
see.
the one they gave me. But like, oh my god.
Did you have it plain? You didn't have it mixed in the...
No, I didn't have it mixed, just plain.
It's in the tall cup, right? The normal cup.
Isn't it metallic?
Yeah, that
tumbler?
one. You thought that was strong?
By itself? Yeah, I don't like that kind of flavor, like gin flavor by itself, I think.
But yeah,
it's
I don't...
like...
I guess there are some things that are strong, but I guess also Japanese people have a more lower tolerance to alcohol, so even just like couple of beers or drinks will kind of make them very red in the face and tipsy. So yeah, even like 3%, like they get drunk quite fast. I think it's just might be an East Asian thing, low tolerance to alcohol. I'm not sure if it's just Japanese. It might, I think.
Yeah, but then they have the whole strong zero, which is 9%.
Yeah, but then they drink one of those and they're like, out.
They die. Yeah. Have you seen the new flavor, the flavor that they came out now with the cherry ones, the cherry flavor?
They have cherry strong zero?
Yeah, it's new. It came out like last week.
Oh. When do people even drink strong zero though? They literally just drink it on the street. Like on what occasion would someone, unless they're having like a home party and you're bringing alcohol home?
Yeah, I've seen them at like Hanamis as well when I did Hanami with my classmates.
Oh my god, you drink strong zero in Hanami?
Yeah. Lots of people did actually.
That's crazy.
It was out of stock when I went to the convenience. There was like none of them.
That's crazy. Well, actually, this will be a good time to advertise or to mention next week. Reina will be Reina's last streaming week, I believe.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Until I'm back in the UK, not forever,
Yeah. Last streaming week in Japan. So next Monday evening for the Americans, and I guess after midnight for the British people or Europeans. Next Monday we'll be doing an off-collab pizza party at Reina's house. So I will be there as well. I won't be streaming it. We'll stream it on Reina's channel. But we will be doing an off-collab. Rhubarb will be there. There'll be probably a few others as well. We'll confirm it at the time. But at the very least, it'll be me and Rhubarb with Reina. And we'll be eating pizza. Maybe
just talking,
chatting,
putting some music
on, having fun, So if you can turn up, it would mean the world for all of us, because that's gonna be our like little goodbye, not our goodbye party, Reina, but our goodbye stream. You're gonna go. I don't like it, guys. I don't feel comfortable with this. Wait, now I'm saying it. I don't like this. I know,
it's getting so real. It's getting so real so quickly.
She was the only one who got me out of the house. What do I do? I don't know what to do.
I am the one taking fish for like walkies. I take him for walkies.
Why do you say it like that? I'm not a dog, guys. I'm not a dog. Anyway, no, she gives me the tasks, guys. She gives me the tasks. She gives me the missions to go outside. What am I gonna do?
I don't know. We have we'll get Rhubarb. We got Rhubarb to do it.
Like, she's like me. She's like me though. Two fishes. Two people who don't like give themselves tasks. It's dangerous. You're the task giver.
I am the task giver. Yeah, but it's because I'm here for only 1 year. I was like, yeah, we need to do things. Let's do things. Let's do stuff.
Yeah, she's the one that says, oh, let's do things, let's go out. It's like, I rely on Gumi to do the same thing. Like in London, Gumi used to just take me out and say, oh, well, let's go to this place, go to that place. Reina was the one doing that. She's like, oh, let's go here, let's go there. And I'm like, okay.
Now I'm gonna go back to the UK and I'm gonna become a hikikomori because there's nothing to do. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, it's all expensive as well. I can't leave. I'm gonna stay all day streaming. That's what I'm gonna do.
Walk around your local park, enjoy the air, enjoy the greenery.
Yeah, I'll go for. Yeah, I guess that's good. No, actually, that's a good idea because where my flat is, like where I live with my flatmates, like the area is really close to like parks and stuff like massive parks, so I can actually walk around.
Yeah, I mean, no more concrete jungle for you.
Concrete jungle, no, actually pure air. The sound of like the goats around. They have goats like a,
wait, no, that's
yeah.
What's that?
It's the same.
What's that? Wait, goats also go meh.
Yeah, they do. They also shout. They go like what?
Oh, goats?
They do. Yeah, they do.
Huh?
You've never seen the video of the goat shouting?
No.
I'll send it to you. There's a goat shouting video.
That's right. Okay. Raina can fax fish her daily quest. She's not gonna fax me. Oh my god! Imagine you sent me faxes. Oh no, today you need to go to this place. No.
If I send her a fax, that means that she has to go to the combini at least to go and get the fax.
No, I mean, I'm just have to. I've got to figure something out. I'm just sad because obviously she's my friend. We've been friends for a very long time, so it's gonna be sad and you know.
I know. Well, you know, it all depends. So if I become a successful artist, then I'll be able to come often to Japan and visit you.
Okay.
I just need to become a successful artist. That's what I'll do.
Guys, let's get her there. Get her there.
Let's get me. I'm gonna be the next Suisse.
What is the word? Inshallah, mashallah. I don't know the word. One of those things. Yes. Pray to God. You will become that person. But
pray to God.
God willing, yes. You will become that person. But yeah, I'm next week will be our of collab Monday night, guys. So please be there. If you're a European chip, obviously don't force yourself. But if you're a JP chip, Asia-based chip, and you know, if you are American, please try and turn up. We want to have some fun. Pizza party with the girls, yay! Woo! Yippee!
Yeah. But yeah, I would say Japan has been great. It's really, I would say, despite all of the problems I had and being so difficult to find an apartment at the beginning, I really think that it's very easy to live in this country as a foreigner, especially if you don't earn Japanese yen.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, if you're earning yen, you're kind of screwed, but
yeah, but if you have any other currency, you are the goat, and and yeah, it's really, it's been an amazing year, and it's really made me think about starting a saving account to perhaps buying a house here.
Oh,
because it is. If I always say that whenever I become an obachan and I become old, I would like to have my own little cafe to enjoy with my friends. You know, all my close friends would come to the cafe and we'd just like play cards and enjoy
Mahjong.
Yeah. And I think Japan is that kind of place that allows you to have these like small businesses and actually like thrive, or like not thrive, but like at least make enough so you know, you're still an obachan, but you're still an active obachan, and you do things and you enjoy life until the end.
Yeah, that's what they do here, though. They just like open up a little bar or a cafe or something small, just to live their days out. Because obviously, it is better to stay and remain active, guys. We spoke about this. Remember, about keeping your brain healthy, keeping your body healthy. Just keep being active. Don't let yourself waste away. And I think that's what they're actually pretty good at doing here in Japan, as like elderly people, keeping themselves busy.
Yeah,
and that's why they live
it's
for so
really
long.
nice. It's living here is very nice. I think, as a foreigner, though, I cannot speak for Japanese people because, of course, being Japanese comes with the expectations of the culture and what they expect from you, which is a lot harder for them. But as a foreigner, no one expects anything from you.
Yeah.
That sounds bad, but you don't get the same expectations that a Japanese person will have.
Yeah.
But you can still enjoy the country, and as long as you're respectful, you're not gonna have any problems. It's very easy to do the right thing in this country. It's very
Yes,
easy. Very
yes,
easy.
yes. As long as you don't try to be Japanese. A lot of people just make the mistake, oh, they'll never accept me as a Japanese. No, because you're not Japanese. You don't need to be Japanese. And to be frank, you probably don't want to be because, again, yeah, Japanese people do have it very hard here because they are held by societal standards that are very different to the West, and they do feel very pressured and suffocated by it. You don't want to go through that. Like they're not gonna not accept you as long as you blend into society in a way that's harmonizing with them. Try to not do things you do in your own home country, like screaming loudly in the street or kind of standing in front of people and taking photos.
Yeah, but they do that though. You go in the middle of the city at night on a weekend. It's wild.
I'm not talking about that. You know what I mean, though. You know how, like, I don't know, like someone will go in the broad daylight and go, "Wow, this is so subarashi," and I don't know, like.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
And or like seeing someone in a traditional costume like a kimono and like oh my God, can I take a picture of you, like, and it's just randomly living their lives. You don't do weird behaviors, like don't treat people here like zoo animals.
I've seen people, like, I've seen tourists, and it pisses me off, but I've seen tourists here taking pictures of kids in uniform. Yeah. Because, it's the whole, oh my God, they're wearing the uniform from the anime, or they're wearing, and it's kind of like, are you that close-minded? Don't you understand that this is just a kid that's going to school? And that's illegal, you can't take pictures of children. It's outrageous. I was just like, what the heck?
I've never seen that ever happen. Oh my God. Yeah. I would have drop kicked the phone out of that person's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's illegal,
like,
of course.
It's really bad. It's illegal. But like sometimes, like, especially the small kids, they go out with the yellow hat.
Yeah.
It's they're cute. It's kind of like, even I had a culture shock when I saw it, because obviously the only exposure I have is via dramas and anime. So that's the only exposure that I have to those. And in Spain, it's not normal to wear a school uniform either. So I never worn a school uniform when I was a kitten. So for me, even in the UK, seeing people in school uniform is kind of funny.
Well, TV is normal life, school uniform.
Yeah, like no, I went to a posh area once, like Victoria Lakes and stuff like that, and there was a posh school, and they were wearing like random straw hats as well, and like
that's normal.
Blazer. That's so weird to me.
I had a straw hat for the summer, and I had almost like a bowler hat for the winter for my.
That's so cute. So even for me, I was just like, look at them. They're so cute.
Well, I guess I never really thought about it not being normal. Because, yeah, like UK, Japan has school uniforms, as you know, from anime. Obviously, they do have things like sailor uniforms. We have just regular uniforms in the UK, but like,
No, they're not regular. Those blazers, they look like they dress like children, like politicians. They were like blazers.
Okay, because those are usually like private schools, so private nurseries, private primary schools. We do have like the uniforms, like the tiny, like the bowler hat or the straw hat, blazer, this plaid skirt and stuff. But I don't know, like in Japan though, they have also the sailor style, and I think people associate that with anime, so they're like, oh my God, this is so anime, and they start taking pictures of these random girls. So like, that's illegal. Even it's illegal to take pictures of people without consent in Japan. And showing their faces and stuff. So a lot of foreigners do it. They go to Kyoto or something. They start going, oh my God. Wow. They see the geisha walking around. They start like barricading them and taking photos of them. They're just normal people, by the way, working and living their life. They're not zoo exhibits. They're not there for show, planted there for foreigners to take pictures of.
Yeah, you don't take pictures of other people. Don't get me wrong. Like, even in Japan, people go to certain places that showcase in animes, and they do also take pictures of those places. They just don't take pictures of people, please.
Yeah, go to places like, no, that's cool. Like, near Big Sight and stuff, like the Digimon area and stuff. Those buildings that were in anime, that's okay. Obviously, take pictures of places that were in anime, like buildings, areas, but not people. That's people. Really weird.
It's not people, yeah. Don't take pictures of people, please. And leave the maids in Akihabara have done nothing to you to take videos and pictures of them. Leave them alone. They're working, okay? They're suffering. Do you know how much suffering they go through when they have to be in winter outside, just looking at you and trying to smile at you. Do you think they want to smile at you? They probably won't. They don't want to smile at you, but they have to. I love them so much. They suffer so much. They deserve the love. I love them.
She's talking about in Akihabara, there's like the streets are just in the evening are completely lined with like con cafe staff, like maid cafe people, vampire cafe, whatever. And a lot of them are girls in very small dresses,
uniforms, yeah.
And all their legs are exposed and arms are exposed, so they're usually very cold when it comes to like winter time. But you see a lot of like tourists in Akihabara, right? So they start snapping pictures of all these girls and stuff.
Yeah, and they have to cover their faces because obviously, why wouldn't you? Like, why is a random person trying to take a picture of you when you're working? Like, please.
Yeah, it's just mindfulness, and just not. I mean, I'm sure you guys don't treat people like that, but there are some people who do just act like they're in some kind of circus and taking pictures of everything. It's just very weird behavior. Akihabara just became a tourist spot. Yeah, I mean, yes.
It is. But it's also nice. There's really nice places to go. There's recently a place became famous for Japanese people in Akihabara. You can get unlimited karage. Actually, I was meant to tell you today because I saw it. It's unlimited karage. I know, unlimited karage for like 1,200 yen. Yeah, I know.
Cool. Let's go.
I saw it on social media because all of my social media, my classmates always ask me, why do you get so much Japanese TikTok? And I'm like, because I browse on Japanese TikTok. And all my social media is just Japanese influencers talking about tabearuki stuff, places, or listen to me, this is very important. Try to look for these people on TikTok if you have TikTok or social media. People who buy and find useful items on hyakuen shops.
Yeah. I follow people like that as well, like on Instagram, like the ones who like they make it into like new items and stuff. It's so cool.
Yes, I went yesterday to Seria. Seria is one of the brands that does.
I love you. I love Seria. I am Seria's number one.
Girl, I went to Seria because I saw they have this thing to remove bolts from jumpers. You know the jumpers, the small bolts?
The piling kind of oh god, I forgot the word. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So they have one item, a new item that is kind of like a scrubby thing, and it's really good. It's a bubble remover, but it's not an electric one. It's kind of like a you just brush. It's like a brush.
I got the electric one that goes.
No, that's bad. I'm gonna show you. I'll show you because I bought it yesterday. And I need something to test it. But it's so far I look online and it looks like it's working because there was only one in the Seria I went, and it was one of the biggest areas I've been. So, it's really popular right now.
I want to buy it. Show it to me. And I need to buy that hair mist that you recommended too. Ooh, guys.
Yeah, the hair mist is so good.
Guys, Rain is leaving. I'm not going to see all the cool stuff anymore.
But I do recommend this to people. If you're gonna come here and you wanna kind of like shop what the local do, don't go. You know all these videos like 10 items that you should buy at Mega Donkey or something. I hate those videos.
You know what? You should be making one of those things, to be honest. I feel like you've discovered so many cool items that I bought, like the stain remover pen, this pilling bubble remover item,
you can get
the hair mist,
sponge for the water for the sink, and I really recommend it to you.
That one too. Yeah, actually. So Raina's one of those people who's quite like. Remember I told you we're like yin and yang, right? So. She's also very good, like same with Gumi, they're both very good at observing and noticing like really like random stuff and cool things, and I'm not one of those people. So having her like here in Japan was so useful for me because she'll be like, oh, I found this new item, it's so cool, check it out, blah blah. And yeah, she's
just like the novelty. Yeah, I like the novelty.
No, but that's actually one of the best parts about Japan, right? When we talk about convenience, they have like items that you don't really think you need, but it really just elevates your life. Like the clothes pilling, bobbling remover, and stain remover pen stuff.
Yeah, I had to stop myself yesterday from buying so many things that I wanted to take. I bought a lid from my miso. Do you know that when you buy miso in Japan in the big tub? they made a lid for that.
But it already comes
Like
with
a-
a lid.
No, but the lid is rubbish. It's bad plastic. This lid basically has a top lid so you can open and close and put your spoon in and out. Really
Oh,
useful about that. And and then I stopped myself from buying in 3 coins. They have these new. It's really popular on social media right now. Is a portable what's it called, umbrella case for when your umbrella is wet. So it kind of like folds and it's plastic based. So you know, it's like a thick plastic silicone, and then you can put your umbrella inside, and when you don't need it, you just fold it, and it's really small, so you can like hang it from your purse.
I have one of those
Really
kind of things as well too. My wet umbrella. But
Mhm.
yeah. So TLDR, moving to Japan as a student. First step, research on the internet, like what kind of schools you want to go to, because some are more intensive than others, some are cheaper, some are more expensive. Think about what Japanese level you want to get at, and you know what other things you plan to do. If you plan to get like a part-time job, it's probably better to have a less intensive course. If you're planning to just lock into studying and you want to use your savings to, you know, sustain yourself, go for a more like intensive course. Another thing is, I would suggest finding a place to move into before you move here. Unless you do have a friend you can stay with. If you don't, you can find a place beforehand. Like if you go to a school, they should help you out finding like foreigner-friendly places to stay at. I think I did mention.
Yeah, if you don't have like necessities like me, that I was looking for a soundproof place. You can easily get into a share house. Share houses are great, in my opinion.
Yeah,
They're so
the
good.
reason why Reina had difficulties because she had the requirements of finding a soundproof space so she can stream. If you're just a regular person who's just living regularly, share houses are actually the best because you can make friends. I know I spoke about my terrible experiences, but don't worry about my ones. just live in a share house, get to know new people. If you don't like that, you can also get your own apartment. I mentioned Leo Palace before; they're very foreigner friendly. And don't worry about languages, the language barrier. If you're coming as a student, especially, you're coming here to learn Japanese. People here are honestly very friendly and they're very accepting. If you're Japanese, it's not good.
Yeah, I would say like especially during your first month or so, like Fish said, I like to walk around the local area. Just do that. Like go if you have a shotengai, which is like a local
shopping
kind
street.
of like commercial shopping street. Just go there, go to the shop, let the locals see you as much as possible. Because then, for example, if you shop around those places, A, you're helping small businesses as well. B, you can get things for free sometimes.
Oh,
like,
the shotengai?
Yeah, I've been given like free vegetables sometimes.
Whoa.
Yeah, you just be friendly, and sometimes you get like free potatoes, free vegetables. That's why I've got free aubergines once.
Wow.
Yeah, even one day I was doing my laundry, just sitting in the middle of the summer, right? I was just doing my laundry, just sitting outside, and this lady who has been seeing me for the past, I don't know, 2-3 months, she came to me with like kiwi, and she gave me kiwi.
Actually, I mean that kind of happened to me as well. In a place I used to live, my last apartment, the house nearby was like growing yuzu, and every winter they'll just give me free yuzu. Every time I walk past this old lady, she'd be like, take it, dozo, and she'd like give me a whole bag of yuzu.
Yeah, like no, I don't have the reason. I think old people tend to talk to me a lot. They just talk to me. But yeah, like I would say, walk around the local area, let them see you. It seems like I'm not, especially if you're gonna be moving into an area that doesn't have many foreigners. I would say it's good.
And no, I wouldn't say it matters whether you're a foreigner or like sorry, whether you're a girl or a boy, sorry, because there's also lots of like guys who make friends with the locals, the elderly people. I think there's one. There's actually this guy on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, some American guy who's a student, and he takes a video every single day of him like interviewing a random Japanese person, just having a chat, and
I've seen that guy.
Yeah. And it's so sweet as well, right? It's so nice.
And Japanese is improving as well, like.
So yeah, don't be afraid. You think, oh, I'm a man, they're not gonna like me. No, just be friendly and approachable, and people will like you.
Yeah, but yeah, like coming back to the flats, like make sure it's easier if you don't have special requirements. Just trust me, it's easier, a lot easier.
Yeah, soundproof places are very expensive and very hard to find. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Well, any questions, anyone?
Any questions? Is Q&A? I would say the only thing I'm really sad. I'm gonna leave my friends here, but like, there is one thing that makes me even sadder is I will be leaving Japan means that I will be leaving my Japanese toilet behind. So in the foreseeable future, as soon as I get to the UK, I will be crying lots because my toilet won't be
Just
warm.
order a washlet. You can order a washlet and
exactly. So in order to order the washlet, I will start a crowdfunding for my Japanese toilet to happen in the UK.
Yeah, I really can't live without a Toto washlet. But a lot of people, like even Chinese people, right? They just come here just to buy one and take it back. You can do
I'm fully taking. I'm gonna convince all my flatmates. I'm gonna be like, guys, we're gonna change this toilet, this British toilet, and we're gonna put the Japanese toilet in this house because we need one. You don't know how much you need it until you have it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, yeah, good luck. But porcelain throne on throne. Imagine putting a Toto washlet on throne. That's crazy. It's like £2,000 for one. Yeah, they're very expensive. They're super expensive.
2,000 in the UK, really?
Well, even here, it's quite a lot of money here as well. Like, I don't even have one.
Yeah, but
in
here
my
is like
flat.
600 for the. If you just want the top, the warming top.
Yeah,
it's
like
£600.
Yeah, it's about but it's about 120,000 yen, right? No. 12,000? No.
Yeah, that's about 500, 600.
Yeah, I'm not paying in pounds, I'm paying in yen. That's a lot of money. For us, you know, poor yen earners, it's a lot of money.
I know.
I don't even have one.
I don't know, God save the Queen.
Oh, that must be nice to be earning in pounds, but yeah.
Yeah.
Guess there's no questions. Well then. Thank you for coming, Reina. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us. Everyone, please say thank you. Please say thank you to Reina. Say W Reina. Thank you, Reina.
I feel like I just gave you all of the my hot takes on Japan.
I don't know. I feel like it's necessary though, because everyone's so used to seeing like the media on YouTube or Twitter saying, "Oh, Japan is the perfect country. Oh, Japan's amazing," and making it sound like some amazing anime land, and not telling you about the small things that's actually useful for people if they want to actually move here or live here.
Yeah.
So.
Be careful, guys, when you come. Make sure not to get in front of a mamachari, or you'll be isekai for long.
Isekai to another. Isekai, you'll be reborn as one of her kids. Imagine the title of the manga. I can imagine on the anime. I was knocked over by a mamachari holding 3 kids, and I was reincarnated as one of the kids. Something like that.
Some like low budget Oshinoko.
Oh, yeah. She's just living a normal life at home. Oh god, that's actually kind of funny.
So.
My futsu life. Going to a local elementary school, getting bullied by kids. Yep. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, thank you. I was reincarnated as my Oshi's kid. But yeah, no, thank you so much for come back as one of the kids for revenge. Take revenge on your own mum, your new mum. This is just a revenge for running me over when I was an adult, just a salary man on my way to work.
Yeah, you have to wait until you grow up a few years and learn how to drive a bicycle, and then you can do the same thing.
To knock your own mum over. Isekai mum.
With their own bicycle.
Use her own mamachari to knock her over. Maybe transport back to your body after that.
Make a movie and it's like Mamachari 2, The Revenge.
Wait, I'd watch it. It'd be like a good horror movie, actually.
Yeah. Quite horrific, to be fair. But yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. I hope everyone had fun and everyone is more aware of the good things and the bad things. If you have any questions, please make sure that Mrs. Fish here makes more of these talking about life in Japan series, because they're really useful, I believe. So, you know.
I hope it's been useful anyway. I think we've spoken about lots of random little things no one really thinks of. Like, even not being able to use your debit card to top up your Suica, so stuff like that. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Reina, and maybe I'll see you today. Depends on if I get my task done.
Maybe. I'll message you though.
Yeah.
I can message you.
Yeah.
she's like, she's always busy, guys. She's very busy.
Guys,
she works so hard for you guys. She works so hard for you. Hard for you. She doesn't want to admit it, but she does. She does.
I don't, guys. I've got laundry to do. I've got to clean, you know. Oh. Anyway, thank you so much, Reina. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Hanging on. No, you hang on.
Okay. Bye. Alright, guys. I hope today's Japan talk was useful for you. I'm thirsty. Hold on, give me a second. Let me just drink some. I need to finish my tea. I forgot to say to her! But yes, I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if it sounded negative. Again, I do believe in saying like both sides of things, not just glazing Japan. Because you can find any video glazing Japan, Google it, go on YouTube, everything will be glazing Japan. But I want to show more of the real side of Japan, the things that people don't really know or notice. Otsukare, Reina! Otsukare! Otsukare-sama deshita! So, I think that's what kind of motivated me to start this like stream series. That's our fair and democratic streamer. Thank you very much. You're W me. Yes, I am. But yes, it's not bad. Oh, Maho, are you changing your mind for once? Maho's like the #1 Japan hater here. Our resident Japan hater. He's the loud because he's Japanese. Can't say anything. But I think with me, right, I was very lucky because obviously my bestie is Japanese, you know, Gumi's Japanese. So she kind of like taught me the harsh realities even before I was here, because she told me her experiences of being Japanese and living in Japan. I'm not reading that. Anyway, yeah, I was very lucky because I had Gumi and she was able to kind of teach me a lot of stuff beforehand. And it was a really, you know, it was really good that I got to have this experience with her. So I was already not jaded, but I was kind of aware of the realities before I moved here. So I had less culture shock than a lot of people did. She really prepared me for it. And also me coming here on holiday a lot before I moved here also helped. I think as long as you know, as long as you do a lot of research beforehand, things are usually okay. Just don't be stupid. Don't be dumb. アーカイブ見て読み返すか。読み返しは情報センスの方ですね。チップはよくできてる。But yes, all the homies love Gumi. Yeah, she conditioned me for Japan. She conditioned me for Japan very well. But not everyone has a Gumi in their life, so I'll be the Gumi. I'll be your Gumi. I'll condition you guys. I'll teach you the realities and let you make your own decisions based on that. For free, by the way. That'll be me. But yes, tomorrow will be the confessions stream. There's gonna be a special guest tomorrow, Sister Fish. I'll have to take a back seat, and Sister Fish will come out and I'm not saying it's one of my multiple personalities, but it might be. So if you wanna have it's not gonna be very serious. If anyone's thinking, oh, it's gonna be so serious, I don't think it's gonna be serious. Sister Fish is not a serious sister. So, yeah, I'll see some of you guys tomorrow. And there's a lot of confessions. A lot more than I expected. So if yours is not read out, it's nothing personal. I just received over 50 of them, so I have to pick the best ones, I guess. So I'm not training you guys like dogs. I'm not conditioning you like that. I'm saying I'm helping you understand the realities. That's all. Okay, guys, let's finish things here. Let's find someone to raid into. Today, season 2, right, from Marvel Rivals. I don't have time to play today. Ah, Meow is streaming. Let's raid into Meow. She says she isn't, but we know the truth. Guys, you think I'm conditioning you? Conditioning you for what? What am I conditioning you for? I hope you downloaded the patch. I don't think I'll have time to play today, honestly. I've got so much stuff to do. I've got to clean, go prepare for tomorrow's stream, got to do my laundry. The sun is out today. Hold on. What's the weather right now? Yeah, it's like 20 degrees, 21 degrees today, so I'd better do my laundry, I'd better clean. Yesterday I stayed in bed for most of the day, so it wasn't great of me to do that. So I need to make up for it today by doing the laundry and stuff. To leap into the fryers for war. Conditioning us to be good, smart people. Thank you, Kai. See? Yes, exactly. I'm conditioning you, Chips, to be good and smart. Alright, thank you so much for the 2 months of... It's been 2 months, guys. 2 months since memberships open. Thank you so much for the 2 month of memberships. We're certainly not being conditioned by our best, most democratic VTuber in following our lead. Delta, thank you so much for the 2 months of memberships. Cole as well, happy 2 months. I want you to know how amazing you are. Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, I did read the fish tank a little bit before bed, and also when I woke up a bit, and I did feel very happy and did feel very loved, very loved. Why would you do that? Tank as well, thank you so much for the 2 months of membership. Thank you. I feel so grateful, so blessed by you guys. Honestly, I'm very happy. Sorry. Yeah, I feel very lucky. I feel really blessed and lucky. So honestly, thank you everyone for supporting me. Whether it's 2 months or 4 months. Thank you so much for everything. もう2ヶ月か。早いな。すぐ1年経ちそうで怖い。It's gonna be a year soon before we know it. 2 months and have loved every minute. Buh, you're such a glazer, you're barely here. You're barely here. Every day with fish has been a blessing for all the cheers. Buh, you guys just wanna steal my hair and my brain. Maho, thank you so much for the super chat! Super chat, arigato. Thank you so much. Yes. Before I prolong this anymore, I can hear the bell. The 12 o'clock bell is ringing, so I better go. Thank you so much, everyone! And we're going to be raiding into Meow. I think she's doing karaoke at the moment, so every exclamation mark raid for the raid message. And I'll see you all tomorrow! It's time to finish this. Otsu... Trigger!